Hey guys, Frank here from the D20 Misfits. We're doing a nice little episode here because we had a late start, so we're going to do a Talking Shades thing.
Talking Shade, whatever.
So, topic easily is shoulda, coulda, woulda. What that's going to pray tell is we're starting from the very beginning as it was, and I will ask one of you guys about a certain thing that happened and seeing if it is a shoulda, coulda, woulda idea, and then we would leave it open for a debate with the rest of the team. Okay?
Lies. Just
So,
you're saying.
get ready, get set, because this is going to be a very interesting fucking thing. Talking Shades. I am so dull held back. But, alright guys, let's get ready for, what the fuck, what are you
I'm
doing?
sick, don't take that.
Huh?
She's already sick of what you said.
You said I'm
sick
sick,
of
don't
it.
heckin' back.
Well, anyway.
Triggered. Hashtag.
So, get ready for a fun little episode of Throwing Shades, topic shoulda, coulda, woulda. And we're back. Alright. So let's get this started. Because this is hitting there. Those two hit all of you guys.
What's that one doing? Getting this big
Hitting
screen?
that Duh. Come on, man. Think outside the box.
I'd like to be in box.
Watch the movie!
Yes.
Ugh.
Hey, look, I slid it to two screens. How about that bullshit? Cool. Now you are.
Let's see you do all four.
No, I can't do that. Anyhow. Will my happy ass over here. So, beginning.
Well, you know, my mother and my father loved each other very much.
Not that far back.
They had a happy baby goblin. My village got raided, and I almost died. And fast forward, and here I am. I'm no longer a goblin, I'm a necromancer with a baby in the belly.
Very much.
Hey, show's over. Thanks, guys.
Sun's all up. Good night, everybody. We'll see you later.
Even though you can still see me, I rolled the wrong way. And if I roll this way, I go into the screen.
Or in
on this
Sibonac's
side.
case, or a score in 1,000-something years ago.
I was born.
Okay,
I was forced.
let's go back. Let's go back to Bone Grinder.
Oh boy.
What part of Bone Grinder?
I can't do that, I wasn't there.
No, but I will say it this way.
U.S. Workshop were there with Mother.
Noella was there.
No, Augustus.
Yeah, that was
Augustus was the beginning
Augustus.
of it.
Fuck, I was two characters.
Jesus Christ.
Alright, so listen, I'm going to go this way. I'm just going to... John, because you're the one who could change fate on that one. What you did. Okay? So, Bone Grinder. Quick little story on Bone Grinder. Bone Grinder had 3 hags that were in it, and they were taking children. They were kidnapping children. They were selling these dream pastries that would royally screw you up and put you in sleep. That way they can feast on your dreams and nightmares. Well, to make these pastries required children. So they would go, why it's called the Bone Grinder, they would take them to this windmill and literally grind up children for their meat pies.
Excuse me, sir. Is this
So-
meat powder made from artificial or real babies?
So, I am going to say it on this. So, on the thing of everything, you guys were trying to sneak in. Some of you guys were already upstairs.
We succeeded. All of us.
battle started out with the hags to try to stop them. And then, shortly after the battle started, y'all set fire to the thing.
No.
Okay, one person set fire to the thing.
Let me recap that part, if I may. We go up, we're looking for children. We hear you guys got 5 seconds.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. If you don't find anything and come down and back out, I'm letting you guys in there with that. Kids or no kids.
Now, he didn't know there was kids up there.
Okay, you told us to go up there. Fire, that didn't happen until they see someone, and then that happens.
So, with that being said, in the 5-minute mark to where it did, and then all of a sudden, 5 minutes went by very quickly, and you caught the thing on fire. So, so as the building is catching on fire, you're also fighting the hags. By the end of it, between Sivanak, Noella, Augustus, and Avela.
Yes, it was Sivanak.
You guys-
Augustus.
Who dropped? Sivanak.
Sivanak dropped. Augustus was pretty much on death's door. He was hanging in.
Sapros was down too.
Yep.
Sapros was down.
Okay, so
Zero
with
was down.
with Zior, with Sapros, Augustus, Sivanak, most of the party already wiped. John, could you have done anything differently? Would you have done anything differently?
Could I have done anything differently? Yes. Would I have done anything differently? Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Elaborate.
What
would you have done differently? That's
He loves
the
that.
questions to make.
He loves the jokes they make. He would not have done it with what you spoiled again.
Anyway, come on.
I would have given him 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No, in reality, that kind of set us up for the whole fucking downhill fall of the party. That was the big. Let's throw the big turn of events right out the gate.
I'll agree with that.
So, honestly, would I have done it again? No. But it happening, I think, set a good precedence in the story.
It showed y'all what we was gonna. It literally said, "Here's the bar. We're gonna keep touching that motherfucker."
You're gonna take a hole to put the bar further in.
All right. Now, with that being said, what John said to the rest of you, would that have changed based on who you're playing there, and then and so forth with the players that were already there? Would you guys have done something differently, either A, going into Bone Grinder to begin with, or anything of that nature?
You weren't there. Yes, absolutely.
She was a part of getting ready to be a part of a different campaign at that time. So.
I was
Yes.
not there. So
But-
absolutely, I would have done things differently, but I wasn't there.
But for my point, I don't think with what happened with my character it would change any different.
You agreed with Zior the whole fucking time.
Because it looked, as I was like, you know what, fuck this shit, because,
He told you to jump, you said how high.
Pretty much.
yeah, but also at the same time, I mean, Sapros was probably the most hated character of the entire party.
I mean, he's not lying. Every time he did a spell, it focused not just one person, it focused a lot of people. A lot of AoE stuff.
Yeah, I think he didn't want to get punted by the cat.
Cat.
Yeah, because the cat probably would have punted me clear across.
So,
Bro,
with Bone Grinder, you guys wouldn't have changed anything that happened?
I definitely would have. I still would have gone up there to investigate to save the kids, which, if the fire hadn't happened and someone would have used persuasive words with the witches, we could have probably snuck them out the side like we did down the window instead of pushing them with a rope and trying to like get them down quicker and falling. Could have been like, hey, instead of setting fire, get some pies, and then whenever you get that, just walk out and Molotov it as soon as you get. Other than that, No, I definitely am happy going there because we saved the kids until we all almost died, and then Scott got the kids anyway. So he could have had us deliver him his midnight snack.
I mean,
Y'all gave him some Capri Suns?
if the events hadn't happened the way they would have happened, I'm pretty sure the children would still be alive.
Well, okay, you guys could have went as
We
far
also
back as
never-
before hearing about the Bone Rider and noticing that children were getting kidnapped by a little lady who was selling these dream pastries that the two people went to investigate, playing the father-daughter role.
No, it was Sibonite.
Yeah.
Sibonite was playing the father even though he wasn't the
Okay.
father. Yeah.
Well, you two, so, I mean, you two guys could have stopped that right out the gates.
Which we tried. We did. We tried to follow him tail and then she disappeared. Which we found out was that bone grinder afterwards.
Okay. So you have Bone. A lot of things could have happened. A lot of things could have went wrong. I mean, it could have been a party wipeout right then and there. If you guys.
We were that close to a TPK, like,
That's why I roped out the window.
because like when we got into that battle, I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. Oh, but then player to the DM, you even told us ahead of time, like, this fight is gonna be hard for you guys, like hard to almost deadly because the levels that our characters were at that time
And
and the CR rating of the
Yeah.
the hag.
And that's the first time you guys had. That's the first time Straw came to you guys to save you, quote unquote. First time he jumped into the fray as you guys first saw him.
Because the horse-drawn carriage dragging the Sibonite into the carriage was just like,
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause that was that was. And then for my character, or I don't know about the rest of you guys, waking up at the dinner table.
And I
The
believe
fang
from
face.
that, you guys hitched the ride to the carriage, and you guys grabbed Sibonite and left. You guys didn't go.
I
there.
grabbed, because I was the only one left.
You guys didn't go to the carriage. You guys all jumped in the carriage.
I dragged Sibonite into the carriage in the
And the
kitchen.
rest of
there,
us
and
just got
they were
And
eaten.
that's
dead.
when you guys had the dinner
I was still alive.
with Straw.
That's right, you were alive, so it was me and Sibonite in the carriage with a dead Sibonite, and these guys still.
Okay,
Oh,
now
yeah.
going into the dinner with Straw. Which when you actually, like, when you physically got to know, like, what he's capable of, what he can do. Okay, now, pork chop. I am gonna crack you on this one.
Oh boy.
Because if it wasn't for Augustus being unruly and playing the character of, I want nothing to do with this, I want out, I don't want to deal with this dinner anymore, going on and on and on and creating
Animosity.
creating a form of chaos to where
Do you know me? Yeah.
no, that's not what you
Yes,
Yeah, it was.
did. Was it?
Strahd snapped his
That's
neck.
whenever Straw
Okay,
snapped my
that's
neck.
when
From
Straw-
there.
Like, oh, you want
For
to
you
leave?
being there,
Okay.
Straw corrected you and showed his power right then and there and snapped your neck. Now, pork chop, would have you done anything differently? Could you have done anything differently? Should you have done anything
Because you
differently?
had Noella.
No, no, and no.
No?
Nope.
I'm actually going to agree with him on that when Noella served her purpose through the campaign.
I did.
Well, that was the end of Sapphirus bringing in Noah.
That was
No.
it.
No,
Augustus.
that was the end of Augustus.
He was
Sapphirus
separate.
wasn't
He
for a
was
while yet.
Augustus.
I know, but that was the end of Augustus, and then
Yeah.
that's when Noella was sitting at the dinner table.
He was
Yeah.
innocent.
You that's right. But
You
Yeah,
guys
no,
played through
so,
so many goddamn characters.
I know.
I intentionally wanted to die. I wanted Augustus to piss right off. Because, truthfully, yeah, it kind of sounds like, kind of cheap in a way, but these motherfuckers needed a cleric. They really did. So,
Especially considering the person that was playing cleric had to leave the party.
yeah, they all needed a cleric, and I was very happy to watch them by
We
killing
didn't have
off
a
my
cleric.
character.
We didn't have a cleric.
Yeah, there's no question.
That was last campaign. That was
That's
last
last
campaign.
campaign.
Was it?
Yes.
Yeah, where have you been?
I could have sworn
Watch
she
the
No.
movie.
No, that
No,
was.
she was never with us.
She was not here at all.
For the second campaign, she was never.
Okay, so opening up that, I mean,
Remember I killed her in the house.
No. Last campaign.
She never played this campaign at all.
Whatever.
so with this, and you guys doing that, and with that dinner, it's where you guys had the reign afterwards, after dinner, to stay the night at the castle.
At the
I
hotel.
said hotel. Hotel Transylvania.
Hotel Day Strong.
You guys had the opportunity to explore the castle for that night. You guys didn't end up leaving and going elsewhere to that started the lackey.
No, we spent the night in the courtyard and stuff.
Because the Vela fell asleep on the stairs waiting for everyone else and almost got killed by a Sudorum. Or got attacked by a Sudorum.
That's I thought that was
No, it was on the
Nope,
stairs.
that was the same thing.
yeah, you're right. Okay.
She's like, yeah, I'm not sleeping in here.
But you guys had a chance to explore some of it and could have got a couple of things too.
We were also really low levels at that point in
I was
time.
gonna say, that,
Augustus almost died by a freaking broomstick. Okay?
And a door.
And the door.
Talking about that.
and the animated armor
Yeah.
So armor, a mimic door,
and a broom.
a room.
Speaking of which,
PTSD.
Yes.
PTSD.
for those of you that can't see it, there's a broom in the corner.
For those of you who can see it.
Alright. So with everything that being said and going on, you guys went to Valaki. There you guys met the Burgermeister there. All was well. Was his thing. You guys were just in time for the festival. That's when you guys stopped at the Blue Water Inn and started to delve into that story. The Blue Water Inn, the Keepers of Feathers, meeting Ricardo, seeing how you guys could do a whole bunch of things. There was you guys were a group of ragtag people,
Dare you say we're
all different races, all different things, all different quirks, and that's what sparked Ricardo to talk to you guys. One, there was a Warforge, something that hasn't really seen it. Animated, moving, walking, talking, armor. A goblin, Noella, who
a
was.
sexy ass cleric. Sorry, that.
But you guys talked to him, did all that stuff, and knowing that he was in a circus, looking for different talents, different tricks to put into his show. Not knowing that there was a secret thing that he was planning on doing regardless.
No,
By having a massacre happen within the circus during the show. Inviting you guys there, not knowing anything, and then performing in the show. And everything that happened. Him coming out, Tiger coming out, and literally killing everybody. You guys were in the mix of it. Some of you guys were outside, some of you guys were inside. A barrier was put up. And you guys were trying to get in, those who were out in.
Yeah.
He stationed some of you guys, or Sapris and Sivanak, outside. Zeor. Outside, and if anybody wanted to, nobody was allowed to leave the tent. So, to the group, would you guys would have done anything different?
I don't know if we could have.
I was about to say the same thing.
If we could go back and our characters would know, or
Yeah, there's.
Like, if you guys would have changed differently out of whatever, because of the outcome that happened, would you guys would have changed it? Would you have tried? Could you have tried? Should you have tried?
Would we have tried? No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, okay, yeah.
Look, hold on.
Back and forth. Hold on. Pork chop, go ahead.
Would we have tried? Yes. Could we have tried? No, because there was no changing that. There was no changing what the outcome was going to be. Bertolvo had that planned. He had everything set up to where, you know, we couldn't get in nor out. We were stuck in that spot. We were stuck in that time. We were stuck right then and there. We had no control over anything that happened. What are we gonna do? Try to fight this big son of a bitch that's coming down? That's insane.
It's just a tiger.
Yeah, it was only a tiger that massacred 30, 40 people.
It also depends on what weapons or abilities.
I mean, there were.
At the time,
I don't believe we could.
Okay, okay. Now you were quick to jump with yes when he said no. So, Samuel, what would you have said? What would you have done? Would you done anything different? Would you tell the party anything different?
See, I'm back and forth because, like, part of me wants to agree with Pork Chop, but at the same time, there could have been a different way we could have went about this. Yeah, myself, Scoob, and Viking, all three of our characters decided to stay outside. Hey, was there a different way we could have gone about getting in there? Because if I remember correctly, we dug a hole underneath to get in.
you tried digging a hole and found out that it was sealed still.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, because of the magic field, magic barrier.
Yeah, and then any spell that we threw at that damn thing just gone.
No, ricochet, because they took damage from that.
The ice dagger, that's right. But like other spells, it just canceled it out. And it was one of those things I felt like maybe one more of us stayed inside. Because we literally left the barbarian and the cleric inside. We left our healer and our tank. And if something happens, oh guys, time to start rolling new character sheets. Yeah, and that because I feel like maybe if we had Simonak in there or Zior, one of those two could have been able to stop the tiger.
But why though? Why would we have done that? That's the question that I'm asking. Why would we have stopped that tiger? At that point in time,
would you have stopped that tiger knowing that it was killing innocent women?
That's where I was
They
going
weren't
to go.
innocent
Children? Yeah, but
we didn't know that.
You didn't know.
No, we didn't know it was
why
attacking.
it was attacking.
We went,
But
oh fuck.
Tavo sent out to kill after during the show when it was with the tiger and you guys doing your things. He sent the tiger out to start killing right after the tiger was doing all of his tricks.
Because we weren't knowing that. That's why even Noella was scared. We didn't know anyone was going to kill him. Now, if I could do anything different, I probably would have tried to attack the tiger. Being, as you said, the barbarian of that could have killed me, so go back in and smash. I will say there was one good outcome. I did end up saving at least one of the kids because he was sniffing out them, not us. And yes, we did get to see the kid a few times throughout the campaign, which was the child that Eric was holding, the 6-year-old child that had imprinted on her as her own, as her a familiar. But other than that, she would have tried to have fought, but if it seemed like she would have protected the innocent.
I mean, yeah.
We don't know.
I'm
able to fight. I know you are more of the healer and you kind of get into the fray, but with her seeing innocent people attack, it kind of gives. Which is also why she did attack. It felt almost like a PTSD seeing people being slaughtered all over again. And
I mean, Noella absolutely wanted to try to stop it, but I believe at that point in time, Bertolvo also had me charmed.
you were you weren't charmed. You were charmed as an assistant, but you weren't charmed.
No, I know why.
There was something along that lines.
You were charmed, but it wasn't from Bertavo because that was the second time Strahd showed his face.
It was actually
That's right.
And he fireballed, killing the tiger and everything else. It wasn't Strahd,
but
it was his altered ego that he played.
Yeah.
Which was
It's not Sonny.
Bastali.
Yeah. I thought Bertaldo did some like wavy hand shit at me, and then
That was the Stalics. He wanted.
oh, it's, yeah, okay, yeah.
And he
He,
told you to
he
pray.
did fireball
Yeah.
over the whole area, killing the tiger, becoming the savior of that circus at that point in time, or killing the
Yeah.
tiger at least. Which counted there, and that was the first time you guys met with
Pastrami.
But
That was that one. That's when you guys first met him.
Misfits.
And he had his house, and you could tell that he was trying. That was
him trying to
again. That was the first time Irina was put into there. That Strahd was in disguise, trying to get with Irina.
Now that also brings another interesting, because he was seen as this big hero, and we were also questioned as these bad guys trying to prove ourselves. What if Hamela, again being this fighter, as you put it, this tank, what if she was the one to have taken out the tiger and told Bertaldo to back down? He proved a point, back down. Would have been less on us, and even if, say, Bertaldo left the scene afterwards, and we were seen as the heroes instead of
You guys wouldn't have
Stali.
met. The Stali wouldn't be him. He might have crossed paths with you at one point in time. You know, I'd like to commend you guys if you were to kill it and be the saviors of that massacre. Would have been? Probably. Probably would have commended you, gave you guys something to deal with, maybe gave prize or coin for it. Bertaldo was put behind, was in a stockade the next day, for several days. Go leading up to the
Trial.
well, the trial, and then leading up to the parade, the festival.
the Sun Festival.
So from there, I believe that's when we dipped into the one shot.
Yep, this would be about the time we did the crossover, the first crossover.
That led into winter. That was the winter,
Yeah, the
winter
winter
solstice,
solstice.
right?
Was the one shot before or after the church incident?
That was during the church.
Yeah.
It was no. So the church thing. It was before the church.
Okay.
Yep.
Wait, no, it was after the church incident.
No, it was before the church.
Because I swapped characters after the church incident.
After, so it would have been after.
No, you swapped characters after the festival.
Because yeah, you left a note and you know.
Yeah, because that was
Because Cypress was there for
you
one
guys
shot.
did. You guys did the first crossover. That was into Monolith, and then when you guys came back, is when you got no. That was Crescent.
Because I remember his
That
group
was
the first
crazy.
time. I think
No,
we,
my one shot was Crescent.
your friends, the crossover
With
as
the
well
the D20 Misfits meet the Vulcan Adventurers.
was. I remember we had there was a tournament and everything, but there was none. Because there was a fighting tournament, the tug of war competition, and all that stuff.
Yep.
Yes, and
Whenever
then-
you charmed one of his friends.
Yeah.
yeah, that went into you guys seeking out the Monolith,
No.
and then doing that crossover, and then when you came back, it was coming. That was the first time you guys met, and you guys went your guys' separate ways. And that's when you first saw, you know, the Vulcan Adventure Group.
Let me just say this, Frank. Hey, we pulled some shit out of our ass on that. Because I had. This is coming from one DM to another at that time. Because I had to go off of all the stuff that I had in my book, and I was like, how can I work this into my stuff and put a spin on it? And then I still think my favorite episode, and I'll have to go find it, and if I do, I'll upload the audio so you guys can hear it, was not the actual one shot itself, was the final episode of the Vulcan Adventurers before the one shot, and I tell you what, it was probably the most fun I've had with an episode of that with these guys.
Scrolling down.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, as I remember, Frank, you, Viking, all showed up to Arian's house, and then you two who jumped on Zoom.
No. None of us did anything with Broken Adventures. The only time we did was the crossover.
No, it wasn't. It was just Frank and I.
Was it?
Yeah.
No.
I
The
could have
only
swore I
time we
had
interacted
you two
with your
with
crew-
one.
Honey,
The
that
only
was
time we
when
interacted with your crew was whenever we had our crossover events here, or whenever Tyler was present at Ruse.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the only
That
time
I
we
thought we
interacted.
had one
That
of
was
them.
the lead up in your campaign when Workshop came over.
That's right. You're right.
We were segueing into the crossover for us to join here.
That's right.
I hate to go.
That's when you guys did the Yule Festival.
Yeah.
That's what the
I'm
tug
getting
of war
to it.
going on,
I'm getting
that
to it.
festival that was going
We'll
on.
get to that.
You guys were traveling there.
That wasn't them. He went in there where Hattie showed up. We were going to
No,
the
it was.
church because the church, Noelle was frozen and then went over there and then came back.
Right, yes.
So the only time Noella crossed over was when we were going after the hat in the church.
That's right.
So that's the only time Noella did that kind
That
of
was
crossover with
fun.
you guys.
Noel was so mean.
That's right. I do remember that now.
Okay, let's fast forward a little bit on this one. Let's go to the werewolf one.
I think Catnap put back there.
Let's go to the werewolf one. This is where this is Eivor now. This is Carmine. You still had Noella.
At this point in time, I've swapped characters now.
Raya was in it.
No.
Sevenak and Null. That's Eivor.
No, and Avela was swapped out with a gold as goblin.
Because that was going to work done was right before, was right after you guys. That's when, no, that's the first time you guys went to the tower and was attacked and looking at it, and then that's when you guys went to the werewolf den.
Krezzik didn't work with her because Krezzik gave us the task of.
Now, because I believe Amari was in Crescent at that point in time. 'Cause that's when you
No.
guys,
No, it was still Carmine.
No.
Oh, yeah, because you guys went back, and
The
that's
second
when Amari
time we
came.
went to the tower.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay,
Because
so
I went.
you guys were going to check out you guys were going to Krezzik at that point in time. And you guys had many places to go. There was Krezzik, there was checking out the ruins of Berez.
Yep.
And then there was the Wizards and Wine Winery, Wizards and Wine Winery, and then Yester Hill. So you had 4 different places you could have went to, but you went to Krezik's first. Krezik's, you were there, you were meeting people along the way. That's when you met a couple people of the Keeper of Feathers that were in disguise, that were saying that there was a tree that was going to attack them, or something of that nature. A big, giant tree monster was coming. You guys were helping them get into Krezzik. You guys met another person there who helped aid you as Morella, which later was Von Richten's protege.
No, it was.
No, the
middle.
first one
I
was.
know that, but I'm saying you
Yeah.
guys didn't know at that point in time that was Von Richten's protege. You guys were helping to get inside Krezzik. Krezzik, you guys were not allowed entry to begin with because of the werewolf problem. And you guys went out to set forth that.
No, only 2 of us were allowed entry at that point in time.
Well, yes, and you guys went around and looked as the newlyweds were checking it out.
And your golem of the Sivanak and your.
Where you
circus
guys
troupe.
met a old hag
Fuck
That
that
was
bitch.
fun to start.
who were messing you guys up, who were saying how you weren't being that much of a husband, that you could have did so much better, Noella could have done so much better, all that stuff. But then after that, you guys went to,
My bad.
you guys were going to
That
werewolf
had a
deck.
little bit of a lie.
On that board too.
Yeah, I know.
Now with the werewolf deck, going in it, finding the people, getting into things, learning about the werewolf deck, learning about the people that were in charge. I forget his name. No, that was the young man. Who was
Oh, shit. Old timer.
didn't know shit. I can't think of his name to say that.
Buck.
That's not it. But anyway.
But as
Sort
soon
of
as you
an
guys
L.
were meeting him,
It was like Lester or something.
No.
either which way, you guys were there and you guys ended up being captured. Because the old guy wasn't part of... The old Alpha was losing his touch, losing his power as Alpha. And that's when Krell was taking over at that point in time. Krell was the leader of that pack. And what you guys, who didn't know you guys were trying to sneak in. There was a fissure on top. You guys were going to try to climb down. You guys ended up getting captured. At that point in time, getting captured and having a werewolf woman take care of you guys, who was their soothsayer, their priestess at that point, helping you guys out. You guys saw the shrine with everything there. Going back to it, with Krell egging you guys on, thinking if you guys should be dead or not. You guys put up... That was after seeing the fight, the contest, between two alphas to take over, Krell and the older guy. And the older guy finally tapped out when Krell was beating the whole dog crap on him.
Whatever.
Going back in there and going back to yourselves to see how they were working, that's when Noella had the bright idea to do another test of combat. Now, I will say this, Noella, Porkchop. You initially was going to select Sibinak to fight Krell, but you chose Zior.
Yep.
That fight led to Zior's death and beheading. Would you have changed that?
Would I have changed?
Would you
Not picking Z and picking Sevenak like I originally was going to do? No.
Could be outcome of it.
I think it's because I was fucking holding my own with Krell for that moment.
No, honestly, I love you, Z, but
Z was an asshole.
Noella really didn't like you that much. And
I don't think any of the... Honestly,
Well,
I don't
you gotta
think
think
any
about
of
it that
the
way. That contest was solely pitting against Zior to Krell.
yeah,
You guys were at that altar there, watching, and no outside interference was supposed to happen. You guys were slowly, with the spells, giving Zior help. And that was another time Strahd showed his face.
yeah.
And was trying to stop that from happening. Now, that leading to Zior's death.
I still wouldn't have picked Sevenak over Zior.
No?
I
Truthfully,
had a
no.
different question for that next.
Sanctuary! We
Because
fucked up.
technically, if I remember correctly, because I think I was out for one of them, which is why I was like, why am I in a bag of wire minigame? Because unfortunately I was sick but not sick.
Yeah.
That was in the midst of COVID.
Yeah. You had the Ronas.
I did the doctor's office called me like, hey, someone might have had this, so yeah, quarantine. And I was good. I didn't have anything. But anyway, what actually led to Zior's downfall was Noella saying, hey, come and get me, blah blah blah, and then Null's like, no, I can take it. Take me instead. Blah blah blah. You're gonna try to have him as your this and that. Have me instead. Take me instead. Blah blah blah. And he's like, oh, you're trying to do all this because he was originally just gonna take Zior as in the pack, and he had to serve in the pack. But with all of that, he's like, oh, so we're trying to do this now. No one's gonna get the fucking toy.
Yeah,
Pretty much an angry mother. He's like, oh, we're all
he
fucking
took
up.
his ball and went home.
Yeah, pretty much, but it was
Yeah.
Zior's head.
It's okay, because he lost his fucking head.
Which,
That-
if that did not happen,
That's not him.
Null may not have changed because how she was created was a whim of Vela with the Raven Queen wanting to watch over her father and everybody else, and she didn't feel she did enough as Null, and said, I need to find a new path to help them. She felt like she failed. And that's then when they found Navera, when she couldn't watch Zior be burned.
Yeah, we're jumping. We're
So-
talking about this particular.
No, I know. I'm saying, like, with the fight, if it would have been different, there's a lot of outcomes to that. Which, holding their own, I'm wondering, like, if Null could have held the fight. Then,
So you wouldn't have changed it.
No.
You wouldn't have pitted Simonak against
No.
Krill. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to pose this question to you. If you had chosen Simonak over Zior, do you think Simonak would have had a better chance fighting Krell?
I mean, technically, hand to hand, his hand is a javelin.
Yeah.
Another. Sorry.
I really don't know, but honestly, probably, truthfully, because like Zior was a tough ass, but Simonak is like he's a bad dude, so he might have gotten better, but I don't think he would have still won though. I think he would have fared a tiny bit better than you, but he probably still would have won.
But is the reason you also chose your, like, flipping, like, the coin mentally because Noella was slowly, like, getting more and more feels for
Yeah.
Simonak and didn't
And
know much
honestly,
about
that's the reason why she wanted to do it. Because at that point in time, she was like, alright, well, I like Z, he's okay. But, you know, if he gets killed, he gets killed, kinda. Like, I really don't want it to happen, but if it happens, I'm not gonna lose any fucking sleep over it. He did try to burn down a whole bunch of kids at one point in time. And he beat the shit out of another kid one time for a stupid necklace. So,
Sanctuary, I am fucked up!
So she didn't really, what you would consider, have too much love for Zior in the first place. And yeah, she would have rather Zior die than Simonak.
Zior was the definition of an asshole cat.
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
The fucking cat now.
that was also just a bad night of rolls for you, just in general.
And no, it was really good because I fucking strength checked Krell. He had what, a 18 and I rolled a 23.
Something of that nature, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything he tried doing, I just outstrengthed him on.
Let's do it.
Yeah, until you got to the actual
Uh,
battle,
yeah.
and then all your
Now,
rolls were not good.
changing that up. Going back a little bit on. Would you guys would have changed your direction? Would you guys
go
would
to
have
the-
went instead of going to Krezik's, which led to the werewolf den? Would you guys would have changed your path?
We had no reason to actually go through Werewolf Den, in my eyes. And no, and like literally my player eyes, we didn't have a reason to go there. That wasn't our fight.
I
What the
mean-
hell do we care for?
True, and you could have cheated on that too by just finding a random werewolf in the woods, killing it, and said, "There's your problem. It's gone." You guys would have been in it, and then you guys might have would have that again happen
Yeah.
to where the werewolves would still come back.
I mean, technically getting into the abbot didn't even.
Well, I mean, we
Didn't
got
do us any
information
justice either.
too. But ultimately, going on from that, would we have chosen to go somewhere else? Because think
I
about
was just getting ready
what
to
had
post
happened,
that.
say, the Berserkers, with Winter Splinter. It was all destroyed before we even got there. I mean, yes, that's where we technically Agar got, like, popped into. But what happens if we would have went there first? Would that have changed the outcome as well?
See, I don't fully believe that
We had ideas
anything.
worked out.
I don't believe that anything we did would have a different. I mean, yes, it would have a different outcome. But if we was to go to this place here, this other place here would have got destroyed. So if we go to this place over here, then this place would have got destroyed. If we'd have went to that place back there, then this place would have got destroyed. No
Honest-
matter which way we went, our lovely DM was destroying something.
Yes and no.
Not necessarily.
Not yes and no. I mean, okay, dipping it back like towards me. if you guys would have went to Perez or the winery, you guys probably would have crossed paths with Winter Splinter to begin with.
I think the Winter Splinter would have liked this.
I mean, that's...
At that point in time,
If you guys would have went over there and encountered him, you guys would have some of the keepers there. Who knows if any of the barbarians from yesterday would have been there.
Here's my other thing with that.
But, like, doing that, if you guys were to destroy them, you guys would have got your hands on the blood spirit already. At such an early time. That could have gave you the upper hand with that spear.
I mean, in all fairness, it's not really used that much.
Though,
Bullshit!
I think there could have been different outcomes.
I use it every now and again.
He
With
throws it every chance he gets. Sorry.
what you're asking and what you were saying. Because we all make jokes about it, because like how Noella did get moody at times because you said the vampirism slowly coming and going and all that. You said, I'm going this way, and we're like, okay, we can't split the party, let's go here. And going based off of how you played it, which was well. You did really well with how she was and trying to manage all that. Technically, some chaos might have not been as
Oh, yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Which is also why, if you remember how Havela's spirit, how Null said it, and then eventually Nevaeh said it, if we stop doing this, this could happen. Which led to that as well. That's why she said that.
I mean, that led you guys, I mean, if you guys would have, stayed up 1 or 2 more days at the Blizzard of Wine, Wintersburg probably would have came back. Because that was, right before you guys went to the den, was when the whole Strahd thing was starting, the first Death Knight was coming. That was later to be revealed after you guys beated him, which was Sapphire.
No,
Augustus. It was
No.
Augustus.
No, it's
Sapphire.
Sapphire,
Yeah.
It was Sapphire.
Augustus never got seen yet.
Because,
Sad.
remember, or you pulled spells off of my old spell list. On top of the Death Knights.
It was Sapphir's later being the Death Knight.
We it never got revealed.
Yeah, it
We
did.
kind of figured. Yeah, we did see that.
After you guys defeated him, you guys knew who Sapphir's
It was
was.
Sapphirus.
Yeah.
I
Because
thought you
we
saw him on
took the
second
helm
one,
off.
so we never seen that. Yes.
Yes,
That's-
because I believe that Noella was the one that gave the final blow at that point in time.
Yes.
And whenever
But you also,
like helmet fell off, I
towards,
was like,
you guys were going
"Bitch."
towards the coffin. You guys were getting lured. No, that's right after you.
No, it was before.
That was
before, because
because
Zior
Zior
fell into
walked
the coffin.
out, and
So
No.
that,
The coffin he came out of was in Death House.
yeah. You're talking about, you would have been dead then.
No, he got.
bamfed in, and that's how. he
No,
got
it
out.
was charmed.
You were charmed to go into the coffin from Wizard of Wine, yes. Back then, too, you guys, Strahd was there luring you guys again with the Death Knight. Then secretly in the woods had Zior charmed, and you were going to the rescue, and I think you and Sylvan or something. So,
Me and Avela
okay, you guys
Because
were there.
I ran
Because
back
it's
in
just
and had to go get,
had to
Go
go
in
wake
and-
Sivanak up.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
And
you
then
were crowbar.
from there, I mean, you were
What
given
about
the
that,
option to stop or whatever by taking his blood. And you said yes.
No, that's not how it happened.
That was in the house.
He
No, it was not. We were about
No,
to
we
coffin.
were-
Now, see, Strahd gave her.
No.
Or
No.
he was going to give
He
you
was
the
gonna
vial.
have Zior take it with it being charmed. You piped
Oh,
up.
that's right, yeah.
You actually, the words came out 2 seconds before I tried to. I was like,
Yeah.
because I was going to do that and say, that's fine, I'll do it.
Yeah, and
You're not
Noella
giving
was
it
just
to
like,
Zior.
shwink.
I just grabbed
down
it and drank it. Yep.
Now, would I have changed that outcome? Could I have changed that outcome?
should you have?
Should I have changed that outcome?
Probably not.
No. Not a,
'Cause you
not a
wouldn't have let
single
Avela do
one
it.
to every single question you just asked. Would I have? Hell no. because at that point in time, I wasn't letting my little goblin friend drink it because I had no clue what the hell it did. I wasn't letting Zero drink it because at that point in time he was a little on the hurt side, so he wouldn't knew what the hell he did.
He was also fighting you guys too.
Yeah.
But he was also, as he put it, with being a cleric,
Yeah.
he wasn't in his right mind. So
Right.
him trying to take something while being charmed, he
Right.
wasn't gonna let that shit.
And so she had no clue what it was going to do to either one of them, but she knew, like, in her heart, she knew that Strahd was kind of a douchebag. So it was going to do something. So she was like, I'm a cleric. I can fix whatever it is, hopefully. And to hell of it, down the hatch it goes. And that's why she did it. Now, would I want to change that? No, not at all. Because that set up for an amazing story arc. I thought that like the constant turmoil that she had to go through, and like the constant doubting of herself, holding back all the vampirism, and all of that made for an amazing story arc.
Also,
I thought it was awesome.
That led into Argynvost and because Zero was still alive.
Yeah.
Also had some good comic relief in there too.
Oh yeah, there was some funny stuff in it. But like just to see the turmoil that she had to go through, and like the way that I played her off, and everything else along that line, it was really cool and it was worth it. And that's why Noella is absolutely my favorite character I've ever played.
Eating over pork chop, which you guys will eventually meet.
Even over freaking pork chop. Like that, she was fun to play. She was really fun to play, and I loved it.
So do you
Just
have any
because
respect
the-
for clerics now?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So no, you've never played a cleric
No,
before.
I didn't, and that's the whole reason why I made her in the first place. Is well, that you gotta leave.
Even with their one turn, one action type ordeal. not
Yeah,
two?
see, I didn't really like that at all. I
Like
didn't
some-
like the
Well,
not
what gave
having
you the
two
two
actions.
attacks was bonus, spirit weapon,
Yeah.
and attack. That would have gave you your two attacks. Using
Right.
your bonus as your spiritual weapon.
And that is what I did. I definitely used the spiritual weapon, like how you said before. The spiritual weapon's like bread and butter for a cleric.
Right.
So, I definitely did do that a lot. But I did like the fact that, like, Igor and, like, Porkchop and literally everybody else except for Noella could, like, put down good
You
damage
like being
with
the
two
brash,
different people.
bold, like fighter, the
Yeah.
duke it out, the heavy hitter, but you
But
have a new respect.
in the same sense, I loved being the healer. I liked being the person that sat back and helped. Like, I liked being useful. I really did. Like, I understand that she couldn't really dish too much damage out. It was only like,
But the healing
like
that you
8.
did.
The most I could do every round was like 8 points of damage. With
But
spiritual
being that
weapons,
was
I
like
could
a
be 8.
back to heal.
But yeah, like the healing aspect and like being able to throw radiant damage out and stuff like that, like I loved that. That was really cool. But I also missed being a smash pass person
grab.
too, so that was pretty fun. But
Okay.
I definitely did like playing her though.
That's what I mean. That was like the turn of events. That's when everything started, like how you were saying earlier. Everything was starting to spiral down. So, with that, if you guys would have went a different way, I mean, you guys probably could have. You guys would have met up with Winter Splitter. Should you have? Probably not. But you could have. You guys would have had probably more backup with the keepers at your back.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two of the people from Yester Hill, because that's when they probably were fleeing at that point in time.
Yeah.
Could have had a chance for that, honestly, to say that thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what started everything down. Because then going into Kresik, more mistakes to me, more mistakes were made.
Now I have a question for you, because only you would have known. If Noella would have done, say, rewind just before she drank it, she looked at it, smashed it, what would have happened then?
He probably would have killed her.
I mean, I could see the reasoning for it.
That's what I'm wondering, because your mind would have been more
I mean,
clear.
he literally had a goblet and slit his wrist in order to
He could've been
bleed
another.
death. He would have just poured it again to see if that would happen, or
he would have been like,
Well, no, I mean, he probably would have ticked him off, and it was still Zior under the control until he made Zior, do something that he normally would not do, which would stop the spell of charm. He might have forced it down Zior's throat. Because doing that could have pushed you guys away, which in turn would have made Zior join. And that could have turned into a very crazy thing to pull off.
A vampiric Leonin.
BMK!
I mean,
but
yeah,
white
it'd
people won't work.
be crazy as it were. I mean, that would have been something. I mean, you already would have the fangs and stuff like that, so you wouldn't gain anything other than like the misty stuff
Yeah.
and
Spider
any of
Bomb,
that. But
something
then,
like that.
but like how you were saying, Pork Chop, I mean, it did go into a bigger story arc for Novella because that's when you guys first, that's when you were first introduced to the red mist,
Yeah.
the essence of vampire, which you guys found out closer to the end what it was.
And that's why I said I wish Noella wasn't dead. Because right now, Noella would be like bad, like real bad. She would be completely petrified because of, the night that she got all the vampirism. That's who she saw. She saw that. She saw the mist. She saw, So like at that point in time, it just kind of sucks because now I have to play Egar off like, I don't know what it is, but I'll kill it, But Noella would have been like, kill everything, and just freaking out because like it kind of tried to ruin her life.
Burn him with fire!
That does bring
She
up
would
the
have
good
been like,
aspects.
alright,
Being
round
the
2
only one
electric
to really
boogaloo.
see what it looks like was Noella. To really see this
And
aspect.
that sucks. I hate that.
Yeah.
Because like me being the player, I'm like I want to say so much, but I can't now because Noella doesn't know shit, or well, Egar doesn't know shit because Noella wasn't, it sucks.
I mean, it would have changed a lot of things. I mean, it made a good thing. Like I said, you had the first inkling there of what vampire was. I mean, of this dark, this red mist. You knew that it was something to do with blood, and having those nightmares and those dreams really put a toll on her. I would expect throughout the course of the rest of the campaign until her death. So, like,
She definitely did get more and more,
Unhinged.
yeah, she
Yeah.
was getting more and more unhinged towards the very end, and if she was still here right now, like I said, it would probably be, she would be kind of going off her rocker real hard right now.
alright, so from there, Kresik. Before we get into Kresik and the Abbey, let's take a short break, and then we'll come back into it. Alright, so get you guys a refill real quick, get comfy, switch up on seating. Again, we're just going to take a short break, and then we'll dive into Kresik and everything else.
Do you think this will help for their next adventure?
Hey everyone, Jonathan here from the D20 Misfits, also known as Viking. I've got a sponsor today that I'd really like to give a shout out to. Dubby. I'm a hardcore energy drink user. I'll do 2, 3 energy drinks a day. This stuff, let's cut that out. If you're interested, go to w.com and on checkout use our code D20 Misfits 10 to get 10% off. Again, W, well done.
will we be back for another special?
I hope everybody enjoyed their quick break real quick.
I wasn't on my phone.
Now, Crescent.
Why? What need?
No, that was the app.
That was the Abbey. We haven't gotten to the
Oh,
Abbey.
my bad. Too soon.
Too soon.
Watch the movie.
What's too far?
Crescent. You guys met the Burgermeister there. You guys there. Now you do know that there you guys knew that with the story there was a one of their kids was still alive, the other two met their end. And then he was constantly that was the events that after the den you guys were going to go back to the tower. You guys went to Krezek.
Yep.
After the den, after the outcome.
Yep.
Beat. I'll use those air quotes. Beat Krell. That's when Carmine met her untimely with Strahd. Now, would you have done anything different with what, like the interaction between you and Strahd? That wouldn't result in your heart being ripped out.
You were a nervous Nelly.
She was being kind of a sassy.
That's what she said. She nervous Nelly.
Well,
She like cheddar cheddar.
See, that's also kind of a caveat with what happens. Like, I was playing it like I was the one that was anxious, and that like she was literally in the midst of having an anxiety attack. She's literally exhausted to the point she can't move. And when I am in the midst of an anxiety attack, I lash out to whoever it is around me, and I give them attitude. Bless you.
Thank you.
So I was like, okay, so if she's anxious, she's having an anxiety attack, she is going to lose her mouth filter. So anything that pops into her brain is coming out her mouth.
Noella has done that once or twice.
So it's one of those things where I was like, okay, so she's in the midst of PTSD and having an anxiety attack. She's going to have no control with what's coming out of her mouth.
Okay.
So if she's going to be honest, and she's not going to think about anything that she's going to say. So it's like, she was being a dick, but like, also at the same time, she's like, I'm not going to go out like a bitch. Like, so...
She ripped out her filter. Well, Strahd ripped out her filter before her heart.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's literally at risk of being torn in half, literally, by werewolves on either side.
Speaking from the mind of Noella, I can give you credit for that.
Yeah. So, with the threat of two werewolves literally ripping her in half, Strahd is actually the better option. So, with everything that's going on, she's gonna go in. But also, I mean, she's also seen Strahd take the verbal abuse and kind of just let it roll off his back. So it was one of those things where she's like, okay, what button am I hitting right now that's either he's gonna get so upset, he's going to let me go so that he can kill me more violently later, in which case I'm gonna end up going back to my party and then we'll figure it out from there. Or this is it for me. So when he asks the question, he's like, do you want to die? She's like, full send? Go for it.
Full send or no send, but
Yeah.
He fucking sent her.
See, the thing is the way also kind of she was thinking, she was like, she also hasn't had much experience with Strahd. All she really knows is that he's big. Because she's not been there a whole lot.
Very violent and very old.
Yes, very violent, very old. But she's also seen him take Noella, shouting random verbal abuse at him on a regular basis. And he just lets her go.
He's also courting her.
Yes, I know.
He's trying.
Well, actually, I don't think that she really knew about that part. But she at least was like, okay,
Oh, no, she did.
so this is the interaction that he's kind of used to dealing with. So she was like, okay, because he kept letting her go and was like, oh, he's like, oh, I'll get you later, and like that kind of thing. So she's like, okay, then maybe we'll take this approach and kind of see what happens, because she has no other option. She can't do anything else.
The well is dead, bitch. You still can't blame her for being a bad influence.
No, we haven't got that far yet.
I know she was a bad influence, but that's besides the point.
Okay, turning it around. Yeah, you guys had a big gap of like 50 or so feet between Carmine, Strahd, and then the group. Would any of you guys try to intervene? I mean, that Ryu could have popped a shot easily. You guys could have slinged spells easily. You could have transferred.
I think I was still making my character at the time.
Yeah, because you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was right after.
Yeah.
But I mean, also Sibinak had the symbol.
It was.
He could have let off a charge that backed all the vampires up. It was.
I wouldn't have been able to make it. I would have only been able to use my dash action.
He was there.
Really could have closed the gap. What, Derek?
Yeah, Derek was there because whenever Carmine was gone and in
But with the
came
werewolf
Lauren,
and dashing, you guys would have went up there, and that may have put a gap in between Strahd and Carmine that would have not ended her dying.
we still have just killed her and tossed her. Or
Well,
just like,
I mean, it also could have just ended up with the werewolves going, and then that wouldn't have changed it anyway. But also, I felt it was kind of nearing the end. Because to be perfectly honest, I picked a character because I was like, okay, this sounds kind of interesting, but I wasn't really know what I was doing. And that was very evident by the fact that it took me forever to do anything. But also, that's not really my main play style, which is what I focused on when I made Amari. Is you were like, okay, so what do you do? And I'm like, no, I freaking rush in, kill everybody, and then loot when I'm done. So I was like, in terms of that, I kind of take the barbarian approach, because I'm like, the sooner I can drop everybody, the sooner I can go pick up shit.
you mean before Carmine character, not Amari?
No. Because this is Carmine, this is what I was talking about with Amari. Is the reason why I picked the paladin is because paladins are one of those people that kind of rush in to go take care of stuff.
I know, we're all going to do that, and we're going to get to that in a
You
second.
said this is where I got Amari. I rushed in and do this before. You said when I was
We'll
making.
we'll get there.
I focused on play style, but when it came to her, I was like, okay, this kind of sounds cool. So it's just
Yeah, the whole rushing in, I just... Because Amari never rushed
I was just
in.
saying, I don't think.
Slow one, near.
Hold on,
Quick one, near.
Let me,
slow one.
yes, but
Let me go back and check every gameplay forever and see
okay,
if
but
you
also
ever
I needed
looked
somebody
at-
who. I was squishy. I
don't
can't
see
take a
it.
hit that way.
I can't find it.
Weren't you... Carmine was a cleric.
No, Carmine was a
Carmine was a
monk.
monk.
A monk.
Hit, back up.
That was
Yeah, but
stuck
that was
in
with
heavy
the-
armor.
Yeah, but the key would have got patient defense, would have raised the AC up, could have got you almost out of strong stuff. Honestly. But, okay, now, after that, with Mari and Yerrick going into Crescent, knowing about the one son that had a big disorder on consuming.
Gluttony.
Consuming to where you guys were, you know, that's when you guys were out there kind of like, that's Navera, right? That's Navera, right? And that
Yes.
Well, no.
Yeah, because whenever she came into being, I was just dragging Carmine back so I can get some pieces for my spells.
No, but like you guys learned.
Build a goblin and karma.
You guys learned a couple things within Crescent before going to the Abbey.
Yeah.
You knew of the waters from the little lake that was there, and the shrine of the Dawnfather that was there to begin with, and hearing Strahd's brother speak to you guys in locating the sun sword, finding Irina, who is the reincarnation of Tatiana. Going to the grave sites of two kids exhuming the graves to investigate what happened with them. Seeing that Krezk was a mixed match of normal people who were afraid to go to the Abbey. Because anybody who went up to the Abbey never came back.
Then you had this bitch.
Well, to a degree, but like, you guys
Nothing,
learned
they came
all
back.
that. You guys investigated the bodies to see if there's anything wrong with it. And I believe they were empty.
Yes.
Going back and him and still the one son constantly eating is when you
I gave Carmine
your
ribs.
newfound
It's not deliberate, it's Carmine.
newfound. Now, okay, now
Ribs out. Oh, the
If I
Carmine.
was liver.
you're feeding parts of
Realize that was
Carmine to the son. But here's the thing. I want to kind of touch base with this. Like, would you have done anything differently with it? Because if you think about it, okay, listen. From the DM point of view,
That's chaotic.
he wouldn't have went crazy for one and killed anybody if you didn't give him the taste of human flesh.
Oh, but it wasn't human, it was hobgoblin. Oh,
Still,
It's
Gave-
man flesh.
the
No
taste
way.
of human flesh.
That's not how that
That could, yeah, but I bet you that jump started.
works. Okay, so
Okay, that could have jump started him to wiping out when you guys were in the Abbey.
and
That
you know
jump
how
started. So again, you're saying no.
I mean, if I knew giving the child man flesh and then
I mean,
he could have.
That's
Okay.
still the
Consume the
most
flesh of the-
unhinged moment, I think,
Listen.
out of everything that's happened. That is still, I think, the most unhinged, chaotic moment of this entire campaign.
She was still learning herself, and she was just like,
She was still seeking herself out, so
And
she
just
fed,
flipped through the
so
book.
she fed another player to
and
this
wrote her.
freaking
She is in her
wolf boy.
book now what not to do and how to prepare.
learned
Don't
from
feed
your
other
mistakes.
people to other people.
Hobgoblin flesh is apparently so good you eat people.
right, she learned from her mistakes. So we move on
Wait,
from
Wait,
this.
hold on.
Will be a thing.
but
The look
again,
of Frank from that was
but
priceless.
okay, still. To me, that jump started him to push him forward to go crazy from that point of view. But here's my thing: you guys noticed he had a eating disorder to begin with.
Don't start shit with me, Frank.
We not. Oh, we all found
That was a fat joke waiting to happen.
I'm sorry. If no other son bitch in this room can remember this, I know damn well I did. Because as soon as Noella seen that motherfucker, she was like, kill him. Let's kill him right now.
But we also
I
knew.
understand
That was the
that.
first time I agreed with
fully
you on
listen.
something.
I fully understand, but here's my thing. Why did nobody act on that? Why did nobody try to lock him up? Why did nobody try to do anything else?
I'm about to pull Kevin Hart on your ass right now. Motherfucker, I did. I said to everybody in the entire group, let's murder this guy.
Or
Let's
just-
destroy him.
He
Let's
meant
put
even
him
if
up.
you didn't like kill him, lock him up. But
I was just
we
gonna-
all
I was
found it
gonna
more
go-
unhinged than the snake's jaw. Whenever he was eating not just the food, he ate the plate. After he
Exactly.
licked it clean and
That's
wanted
why
the
I
plate
was going to make
paper.
him deaf. He was going to catch a case of the death that day.
See?
He was going to not respawn.
He was gonna
That
unalive.
motherfucker was not coming back. I was
Yeah,
going
but
to
he's
give him
a
Shut
death.
out of the
He
game
hadn't
completely.
hurt anyone else yet, and that's the only reason why.
If I'm ever chewing on my hat because it tastes like good to me, put a bullet in my fucking head because I'm off my shit.
To a character that values life, if he hasn't necessarily affected anything,
Noella was a fucking cleric. She was a life cleric. She wanted him
Okay,
dead.
hold on. You're talking about that and worrying about life. Doing that when a party member served a dead party member to him.
to be fair, I didn't know that.
Oh, I did. Because these two were all looking, and I'm pulling it out of my bag, and I'm going to the
'Cause we-
kitchen.
They did.
Because
And
I
they're all
did not.
snickering.
In all fairness,
I was outside, I believe, when you were making the food. I
There's
didn't
a
know.
bloody rib coming out of the
I didn't know
backpack,
what
and
was
I'm
going
like,
on until
because I looked at
It was the liver. It was liver, not rib.
Because Yarrick made the statement, she was like, what do I do with a liver? He said, you use it for bait to go fishing with.
And she's like, oh, God.
And I said you used the fingers as lures.
In all
There are
fairness,
still fingers kinky.
Noella at that point in time was, you know, as unhinged as her jaw got whenever she went to vampire mode and other modes, but that's not one. And at that point in time, he looked at that, or she looked at that situation like, that's fucked up, but I like it. She was definitely a life card and life demand and all that shit, but she was like, that's kind of funny.
You were also in a weird gray area at the time too, so.
But still, I mean, that could have changed a lot of
That's
things.
weird.
And okay, now going up to
How did not the whole town stop one boy from chomping faces off? Carl, that kills people.
Oh, I suck.
so, you had a lot of older people there,
Uh-huh.
not a lot of new guys,
Well, they're all
not a
nice
lot,
and old.
not a lot of young people to go and defend. Plus, it's the Burgermeister's son. Is anybody going to try to stop a Burgermeister's son?
No,
Yeah,
stop!
me. I wanted him
He
dead.
definitely did
Nobody
the bath
else
salts
agreed.
that day.
I was the only person
But now, okay, going up to Kresik, and that was your one shot.
Motherfucker's
Yes.
gonna catch a
And
case
that
of respawn.
was the one shot of
The gods.
doing the gods.
Trying to get them to understand what they represented more. That was the whole point of it.
And that's where Noella got to meet Sal.
Yeah, that was also the other reason they
That was
introduced.
Yeah.
That was the first time we met Sat, wasn't
That
it?
was the
Yes.
very first time that Noella hated somebody more than herself. God, she despised Sat. She hated him so bad it was insane.
That
And
was
then she thought he was hot.
kind of what led me to the Dawn Father. I think also was the one shot into going back to the Maguses after that.
Yeah, because at that point in time, you didn't have a god you followed.
No, because then we woke up and are in a grave.
Why? What me?
Yeah, to a massive grave with the ones of Kresik, or the Abbey now.
Shut the fuck up.
You had all those. The massive grave knowing something was awry, because you guys were not waking up. You guys were all only buried together, but you guys did wake up.
I have a logistical question. Because when we first met the abbot, you said she was a follower of the Raven.
He.
He was a follower of the Raven.
No, he was a follower of Palor, the Dawn Father.
But then you said that he was a follower of the Dawn Father after that. But you said
Well,
initially that he followed
It
the Raven
was
Queen.
what was set
So I was confused.
was the way the module was set up. By default, he worships the Dawn Father, but if the group, if more so followed one particular deity, then they were a person up that day just to throw you off. But I initially was going to do Raven Queen because a lot of you guys were following the Raven Queen at that point in time. Navera was, Sivanak was, Derek was getting introduced to the Raven Queen.
And oh boy,
Noella was getting introduced to the Raven Queen. So
That's where Noella switched to Dirty Player.
so around the half of the party was doing that. That's why initially I was doing the Raven Queen and everything was set up with the Raven Queen as far as the decor of everything. Then I changed it back to Peller because I felt like the Dawn Father had a more impact than the Raven Queen.
And also, looking at it as an outside party, the way you're putting it is it had a more significant diversity between the party and the NPCs.
Yes.
So yeah, I just wanted to double check that. I was like, because you said when we started she was a follower of the Raven Queen.
Right.
But by the time we ended, he
for
was
one, is a guy.
he was a follower of the Raven Queen.
he was
Yeah.
making the build a bitch.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, but okay, going into the Abbey, you guys were initially looking around and knowing everything. We knew that Esmeralda was somewhere in here. Now, that going into meeting the weird, really messed up humans that were brought back or healed from the abbots, either brought back or healed with animal parts, turning it into some type of chimera or mongrel type people. Now, going around, you guys noticed a lot of things. Cages, a well and hearing chains down there. Going into the psych ward of the abbey, of the hospital that was once renowned for its healing and learning and teaching. And really screwing up on the stealth checks with the massive golem that was at the end of that place.
No, I think that was Sibnak that bumped the table.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it was Sibnak. He bumped
Yeah,
the
she
table.
clanked and fell or something.
No, we went through a cone of silence.
Well, it was both. It was both because you had the silence thing going off, but then there were certain people who were outside of that bubble going in. That's when the trip happened, and I believe it wasn't only Sibnak, it was both of them that were.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they
Because
both
there was two fails. One was Sibnak going through, and you guys paused and waited, and then Amari finished it up, which caused him to come forward. Now, could have been avoided? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
It was the roll of the die. We couldn't change that. There's no redos on that one. You really, I mean,
The silver rebarbs.
you could. You guys could have, because you guys didn't really like use those into like effect.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think any of us had those at that time.
Nope.
But okay, going up there, exploring the hospital, seeing the different things that were happening, seeing the ghost images of doctors, of tables, really starting to screw with you guys, walking into pretty much a haunted house or haunted hospital, to where you guys were seeing images and ghosts of doctors and nurses and other things of that nature, the Silent Hill aspect of things. You guys were then, seeing what I think Sibnak was on the table underneath the sheet when you guys pulled back, which gave you guys a fright to begin with. And then finding the secret passage which led to the office and the library of...
That was back downstairs.
No.
It was upstairs.
Library was on
That's
its way
right.
to the golem.
It was in the back, yes.
Yeah, 'cause remember we had to get it,
Because you had to go to the golem into that cell, and that what gave you the secret passage.
But
Not
that
so
was
much-
after fighting the Abbot and all that.
No.
No, it was before.
Yeah.
You guys fought the golem. But the thing is going back there, seeing Esmeralda.
No, because we needed, what's his name? The little fucking bard to control the golem. He was the one who told us.
Yes, you asked.
So that was after the fight.
Because we left.
That
We
was-
put him-
I thought we met after before the fight with the abbot.
Yes.
Okay, so what
Because you
happened
guys
was...
ran from the abbot.
No.
No.
You're
that-
right.
We
You're right.
went
No, you're
searching
right.
back and forth. Like, I don't like what's in here. Let's go over here. I
Because
don't know. Should we go
Garrett
back and forth?
fucking ripped the Abbot's neck open.
No,
No.
Eric
broke the table.
table.
No.
Which set the abbot off.
Yes.
And the golem, you guys killed the golem or the bride.
No.
No, I know. You guys were going out, you guys took out the bride, but the abbot was still there. The abbot laid waste to you guys. And put you guys in a cell because it wiped you guys out.
No, he didn't
No.
put us in a cell.
No.
We broke
Okay.
a piece after Yarrick fucking
So-
bit his neck wide open.
Yeah.
because Noella threw down her weapons.
Yeah, exactly.
She
Noelle,
persuaded us out
No.
of that.
I'm pretty sure Noelle
No.
threw it on.
Yeah,
too.
that was one of Noella's smooth talking moments.
No.
Because the
What?
abbot was still alive. when you
Yes.
guys left.
What?
Yeah.
What had happened was, in between going here, I see something I don't like, because we went here, saw the golem. Let's walk over here. You saw the bride. We're going back here. We used silence. We did all of that. We fought the golem, knocked him out, dragged his body back to where he was. So whenever he gets back up, all that happy, go back out of the area, and that's when we walk up to what need. And then
No,
he's
what
like,
need was at the grave.
Yeah.
Well, we walked up, whoever, they went back to lunch. They did their food. We walked into
bell
someone.
rang,
We
yeah.
saw
Yeah.
the abbot. We all sat at the table. She was trying to help Eric learn etiquette, so we're sitting at the table and da 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 da. Then
Worked out real well.
I forget what's. You flipped the table.
Yeah, he
And
kept
then a
calling me
fight
a heathen.
commenced because he kept egging it and egging
What
it.
was he wrong?
The bride was not killed.
Not wrong.
The bride was not killed. She
She was
eventually
not
got
burned.
to where I had her with my scythe and everything, and I said, enough. I don't remember my word verbatim, but we said, to stop, or I'll kill her. He's like, alright, I got a better idea. I'll do this. And we're just like, alright, we're bye. He said, get out of here and never come back, or something like
No,
that.
he told us to go front
Promised him a
face.
face.
So the thing is,
Yes.
Noella negotiated with him to get a face for his bride.
After she did the thing where she said
Yes.
she'll kill the bitch.
And he left us in the care of his steward thingy, and then we went out.
Yeah.
Because you birded and talked to the dude.
I can't talk to her.
You talk,
No.
Yeah.
When I birded, the only time I birded was whenever I was scoping out the abbey and came back and I saw the bride.
You turned into a bird again to go outside to scope around there and
Because-
talked to. You did. You talked to
You were in
that
the
dude,
courtyard.
and I think that dude is how we ended up going to the main area in the first place.
No.
Because I thought that was the steward.
The abbey showed the abbot from a whole kit and caboodle, chaos erupted. He said, "Oh, you want to look around? That's fine." And he rang up his butler, one of the Mongols, and had us look around. The golem was back up to his thing, and because the Mongol they brought in control, let us through. We went through the library. We came back. We sat down. We ate, and then chaos ensued.
Okay, but you did
Yeah, but
turn
that's-
into a bird
That
and
was
talk to
after.
the dude.
She's talking about after that.
No, she talked to another raven that
No.
said death, death,
Yes.
death.
Yes, but that bird was with a person.
Bird person.
His bird saw that, and then I went after his bird,
Yeah.
and it came back. His bird's the one that heard
There
death,
was
death, death.
some weird bard creature thing.
His bird's the one that said death, death, death.
This one.
Okay.
Not me. It was his raven. Because he had lost his raven after I let it go.
Okay.
That wasn't me. That was his raven.
But you talked to him because you were telling us what he said to you.
Talking to me.
That was
He talks to animals. I don't. I can't speak in raven form. I can only. It was his bird that said death, death, death. He was speaking to the raven.
Sure.
I wasn't. I followed after it.
Okay. Well, you were having some kind of mind conversation with the bard thing.
Okay.
Whatever.
Crescent. Going back to the Lackey again, or stopping at the tower. You guys were more in tune with got more with the Magus. And was learning more of him. Where you guys were able to learn new things. You guys learned how to brew potions and make potions. Healing potions. That's when you guys were starting the mix, or learning about the mix of alchemy to get the bombs later. Later, not there. You guys were there. You guys learned that skill with the Magus after Crescent.
Yeah. When I saw him in the little.
That's when I learned my tinkering skills.
She said she wanted to be with Steve.
Right. Now, let's switch sides here. What
I like
do
my
you
side.
guys think would happen differently? Like, your guys' play out to my play out, what I was doing. Would there have been some differences between these?
Or hopes of differences.
Anything. Like, when you guys were doing stuff, there's always consequences to the actions you guys did. Now, I know there are probably 101 questions that you guys would have that I did differently, or I should have done differently, or would I have done differently that would have led to certain events.
If Noella killed as many people she wanted to kill, how would that have been?
So in jail.
Noella has, like, I think every one of my players, or my characters, has, like, anger problems, I think. I don't know why, but I don't know why.
Hello, Kettle.
I don't know. It's a big mystery.
Every
I'll
time
never know.
that like Noella had a gripe with somebody, what would have happened if she was just like, yeah,
Like kill them? I mean, I would think you would probably.
Oh, Franker.
You probably would get more into it. I know I said. Slowly turn and turn and turn into more of the. We're not sponsored by Samsung. Of the vampire-esque ordeal.
wrong one.
Over there.
You had it.
Oh no, it's right there by Viking.
Okay, that's it.
Oh, you can change it. There you go.
There we are.
Screensavers.
Yep.
But I mean, I think you would have went more into the vampire aspect of it. But if you probably would have turned into vampire for multiple killing, and then drinking people. You would have turned into. I would have forced you to turn into a vampire.
Now, even if it was like the boy that was eating the plate, and like just the people that ended up being bad that Noella said, "Hey, let's murder their face." Would that still have happened though?
If you would have just lashed out and didn't care what the party said, and just went into it and attacked this guy, killed him, and then drank him.
I didn't say nothing about drinking. I was just talking about murdering him.
I mean, the urge would have built till eventually you cracked and you would have drank. That would have turned you to a vampire. Now, the paladins at that party, in this party, between Amari and Sivanak, would have, or Navera, they would have had that removed curse. That probably would have switched you into a damn fever.
Actually, I have a question.
That would have been cool. What?
Why didn't you just seduce Strahd to try to persuade him to be better, and then we could have attempted to, with his help, extract the god from him?
She definitely tried to seduce
That
God,
so
remember?
he has all these brides,
She's dead.
but he has his main number one.
And it
piece
almost
that doesn't
worked.
like
Like, it kind of almost
You were
worked.
getting there.
You were
Because
close.
he was like, he was pretty taken by
He
her
was
for
thinking
a little
about it, yeah.
while.
I mean,
And then,
there was
like,
a couple rules.
Once she started getting like the power from the vampirism and stuff like that, and she was like, I don't want this shit. Like, I really don't want this at all. And then the next time she's seen Strahd, she was just completely disgusted with him. So that's whenever she was like, hey, you remember all that stuff I said before? You can take that shit right the hell out of here because fuck you.
Now, what about for everything else? Okay, we're gonna jump a little bit here. From Kresik to after Argynvost to after the Wizard of Wine to Blacken, you guys going up to the end of the temple. Now, with all of that that's been happening to that point,
I'm gonna talk about that.
I'm gonna hit you three for one. I would hit Steve, but he's not here. Still a little bit under the weather and stuff like that. I would. Now, to Noella, Garrick, Nevera, everything that's happened up to that point, especially fighting the dragon up on, or the Draco dragon, Draco Lich on the thing, to where Garrick, quote unquote, was dying at that point in time, or fell to his death at that point. Again, that's when the Sat came again. But before that, to that point, to that bridge, before you guys went into the temple, doing that crazy move to rip off Wing of the Dragon, falling to your death, being brought back by Sat with the Revivify spell, and having another aspect of that go on to have when Sat was reviving Garrick. That's when you guys saw another lioness person, ethereal, come out of it. Which you guys had guesses of who that was.
Because he mentioned it.
Rude, yes. But up to that point, in learning about the Raven Queen and all that stuff, and learning about the kid that was there and taking the kid away, quote unquote.
That was after that, wasn't it?
that was
We're getting
around.
there.
That was the same time frame. It was around that point because
After that, yeah, because
that's when the Raven Queen came back and
That's when we found
Took-
Danica.
took the sun away. Showed you guys the sun that you guys would have had. But to you three, up to that point, with all that stuff that's happened, because it's not the first time the Raven Queen intervened and took something from you guys. Now to take another big part, like with you guys, but to have you three who follow the Raven Queen,
Did you want to sit next to
Did
each other for
your-
this part, or
at that point in time, did any of you guys thought that your characters were going to falter the faith of the
Oh,
Raven Queen?
absolutely.
With everything that got taken from you guys, the memories
Absolutely.
from the ruins of Perez after you guys fought Bob Lozano. She was there. The sun, taking the sun away,
I ate her head.
showing you him first, and then taking him away.
Scoop still has her hand in the bag?
You saw all that happening. So you would change your faith right then and there, or disown her. What about you guys?
Garrett really didn't follow her.
But you saw
He was
that.
going to take that more out on Strong.
Well, what is it? Would it
But that's when
You
Yerk was first
changed
going into it too.
ideals towards Nevada, knowing she follows something that has done? Would you want to teetering with it?
I mean, would Yerk ever knowing gods and deities from his homeworld? I know, not so much they intervene, but to have a deity intervene and then take something that would have made Yerk's legacy live on, and then taking it away right then and there, that wouldn't have changed his thoughts about her.
I mean, yeah, he still has his doubts about her, but at this point, it's more. This is ultimately Strahd's doing.
Would you have
But
acted?
it's not. It's really
Would
not.
Yerk acted differently, knowing that she took that? Would you have lashed out at the Raven Queen? Took your firstborn son away.
Yeah, Yara could have done it.
But why
Would you?
didn't he?
Yeah, why didn't you? What stowed him?
Because I'll gladly tell you what Noella said.
Shock factor?
Yeah, that's really what it is. Shock factor.
Now, see, I understand that, and I, literally, if Noella was still here, yeah, but Noella had a fucking plan in her head, real bad, because she wasn't saying nothing to Nevera, she wasn't saying nothing to Yerrick, she wasn't saying nothing to Zibanak about it at all. It was all in her mind. She was not telling literally a soul about it, so that way there, can't say it out loud, nobody can hear, blah, blah, blah. Because if Noella was still alive right now, everything that we're about to do for Mr. Vampire Dickhead, Noella would have tried to remember. Because Noella had every fucking intent to try to do that to the Raven Queen. Because Noella wanted her dead. She wanted her gone. Noella just fucking despised her. She completely didn't say it out loud to anybody because, the whole consequences aspect of it. Noella, she disowned her. As soon as she did that shit, Noella was like, fuck her. She's taken so much from me. No. And Noella was going to try to do all this shit and learn how to do it. She was going to try to trap the Raven Queen herself.
If the
Or during
Raven,
the ritual, take the Raven Queen, have the Raven Queen jump in and do it instead of Vampire.
Yep.
Okay.
if
Well, no, I
the
think
Raven
Or,
Queen was
no,
actually
I mean,
taken out,
still would have
After.
trapped Vampire, but
Yeah, I would've- she
then would
would've
have
trapped
gone back
Vampire
to try to do it
And
again.
then tried to go back to do the exact same
Well,
thing
I
again,
mean,
but with
going against a god would be bad.
yeah. Well, we're about to go do that. We know.
I mean, okay, that's the ritual you guys are going to go into
well,
is
fucking
to
hate
lock
her.
him away.
Yeah.
But if you guys would have attacked the Raven Queen then, that would have spurred a lot of events. that would have spurred maybe discernment from everybody.
Oh yeah.
That could have cut off.
That's why I kept her mouth shut.
That could have cut off.
I would
Noella
not have
from
been
her
helping.
powers.
Honestly, I might
But
have
she would
killed
take
you.
him to barrel.
I think that's why she sold her. And eventually lead up to you couldn't use your powers about like down
No,
the
that's what I'm
road.
saying. She still followed, knowing that she did say soul for soul. It was already too late. Like, she.
I mean, if the three of you would have lashed out towards her to stop her from taking the future kid that you would have had, I mean, that probably would. I don't think she would have like did it. She would have just exiled you. We would still have the magic that you had that you learned, but that would be it. You wouldn't have the extra powers of the class that it gave you. So that would have spurred a lot of events. I mean, it would definitely would have hurt. I mean, it could have hurt up to three characters. It would have definitely hurt Noella, cut off the powers of God of her deity, so she couldn't cast spells to heal, or couldn't pray to heal. Not so much casting spells, more praying and anything. You would be limited to just the spells you had in the book, nothing else.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing would have, you wouldn't lose or anything for it because there's no powers to that. But like,
My alignment might have changed. Because I probably would have tried or
it probably,
succeeded to kill
I don't know if it would have, I mean, yeah, but it's not a deity you followed at that point in time. You were getting into the Dawnfather aspect
Yes.
of it.
I think she
But
meant
at
by
the same-
attacking him.
at the
No,
same
I mean
time-
I mean after the fact.
Well-
After all this stuff has happened, if she had
Jesus, she would have
tried
tried to
after
intervene
that,
and try to capture it.
to-
But you guys learned that too, that, the Raven Queen is Mother Night, so the Dawnfather, Pella being the Dawnfather, night and day. So if you guys would have did that, it might have changed to where you guys would have not had night. So the day would have been locked in place.
Always
It would
good
have just
for
been
me.
the day. So that would have screwed your guys' normal compass of knowing when to sleep, being more exhausted because you guys couldn't tell the time because the sun never moved.
It's almost like last week.
So, I mean, that could have changed big time for it. But, all that stuff in there, going into the temple itself, were any of you guys on the fence about taking one of the dark gifts from any of the gods that were there? Okay, 1, 2.
I don't remember what all they offered, but for the most part, no.
I mean, one offered, to bring you back 3 times if you died.
Yes.
I think I missed that one, that session.
Yeah, you were.
That was.
But that was also one of those things that I was kind of just getting into the Dawnfather, and I was looking into that. But also, I was like, okay, what do these deities have to offer that I would
these
not?
These dark gods gave you, there were a couple of them that had really good things. One was, the raise to bring back one person. Another one was to bring back you 3 times. One was to use the power of flight.
True sight.
True sight. Lightning. There were so
Cold.
many.
Immortality was
With-
one.
Immortality was one of them.
With her alignment and upbringing, she wouldn't have thought making a deal with a dark entity worth it.
But to
If
give
that
you
makes
the
sense.
upper hand against Strahd.
See, but as I said, it's still
Was it?
dark entity, so it's more of a. This is a very morally upstanding character. That's
Even if one.
even if they were like, oh hey, we can literally offer you anything you want, she still would have been like, okay, but what's the catch? What's the trade-off? What are you going
They
to
wouldn't
do?
have told you.
No, wouldn't have told you till you did it and then you.
But go
used
ahead,
it.
by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys still had that at your guys' disposal. You guys had it. I mean, we have two that's on the fence.
Gary would have definitely said no matter what.
I know.
I mean, because we didn't know. You guys didn't know that these dark gifts that were given.
We're gonna have
Yes, they would have. We're going to have a downfall to them, but then you got to think. One, you guys didn't have the full spell slots yet. If not, maybe one of the Revivify. You had one that was going to give you the ability to bring back somebody, once.
No matter what time it was.
Once, no matter what or how long they've been gone, you guys could have easily brought back Zeal. Or one had the gift of immortality that would have died and came back the next day, which would have gave, a shit ton of madness to you guys, to the person who accepted it. But
Sorry.
To me, that wasn't a dark thing. Giving somebody the immortality, giving somebody the power of true resurrection, regardless of how long they've been dead for, you guys could have brought back, a person that you guys could have brought back Strahd's brother to fight against him.
At that point in time, Noella was extremely selfish for that, because she was going to take that power, and she was going to bring back her daughter.
So, I mean, you would bring back your daughter. I mean, you guys could have brought back you guys could have brought back Argynvost to help you guys out for the castle.
Good God, imagine having
You guys could have brought back.
Magus
Magus was alive.
Yeah, at the time,
get where
but I
she's
mean,
going
like,
with it.
if
But
later.
I mean, yeah, you guys could have held on that one to brought back a number of people as your ally that would have made you really strong. Again, Strahd's brother, Argynvost. I mean, that would have helped you aid in the fight. The dragon, not so much. It would help the outside and save maybe the people at the end. But at that point in time, you guys could have brought back his brother to go toe to toe with him and be a really big ally.
What would happen, because there's a flux on one way if you fell to the other? What happens if you knew this, you held on to it and didn't think about it? What if you brought back the king or the queen?
Like his mom or dad.
Strahd.
Oh
Back
shit!
To the DM.
Talk
Because
about
he always was just like, to his father and his mother, he was like mama's boy.
Towards Strahd, his dad was ruthless towards him and turned him into this this mounted warrior. It was Strahd's dad that it was the king that
Made Strahd.
made Strahd who he is, as far as the powers to be, making him this fighter, this warrior class. I mean, his mom, he worshipped his mom. His dad was always out in campaigns and, being the ruthless conqueror that he was. Now, that could have sparked a big thing, absolutely, because if you're talking about it, if you want to put it into aspects, this could have been like Thanos. Coming back to it, not have the power of that, of the snap, but of somebody of that strength. That would have been ridiculous. His mom could have changed a lot of things with his mom. I mean, he might have. To me, I think he might have wavered to it because he was a mama's boy. He worshipped his mom he made sure when you guys were in the castle, that place was completely out of everything.
Yeah.
Their crypts were the most protected other than his own. But, I mean, they were protected. Only the dead could pass to go in there. Which led to, 3 of you guys being able to traverse that. But, I mean, that could have did a lot of things. that could have spawned a lot of different things.
That's something else I was wondering. But no, as for the wavering, I think the reason why, if I think back, like I said, it's not a 100% memory of everything, but having here and there, her remembering before when she was given the gift, there was afflictions, whether they were minor or vast. There was 2 reasons why she to get them out of there, other than literally all these voices slowly getting jammed in their head. But knowing the good and bad, she didn't know how bad, whether it's this big or unfathomable, that she's seeing all these people slowly wavering. That's why she made her own deal, in a way.
Now, going up to everything, I'll let you guys switch. We'll completely switch gears here. Now, based on the events up to this point, from the castle to now the ritual site, from that point in time on Valaki, all these points, this major time gap from the castle to you guys finally destroying and beating Straw. Would any of your characters have done anything differently in that time span? We'll just go down the line. Amari, would Amari done anything different within that time span? Would you have went back to the temple to get a gift, knowing that you're going to fight Strahd? Were you going to try to find anything else to stop it? You guys had the Sun Sword. You guys had the Holy Symbol of Ravenkind. Two very important items to do. The diary, all that stuff. You guys went through the crypts and saw any of that. Would, at any given point in that time, would you have changed anything that would have happened? From there to the battle to now this ritual?
I, as a person playing my character, would have had my character more active in certain situations, if given the opportunity, but that's just because now that I've been playing my character for, a significant amount of time, and I can actually kind of make moves accordingly. So I know, but basically I understand my character a little bit better. There's obviously things I could have done better, other moves I would have used to perhaps change certain outcomes, but other than that, for the most part, no. When it comes to accepting any of the gifts, with her upbringing, she's going to think that these gods have been placed here for a reason. It's best to just leave them alone. Anything that they have on offer is not worth what letting them out would do. When it comes to having everything, she had enough faith in the party that we would do this significantly. Like, I thought we had the power within ourselves, just alone, with our allies, to take him down. So I wouldn't have necessarily made moves in any either direction, just because she's used to being in a group of other people that have different skill sets that all come together to work on a common goal. So in this, it's something she's very familiar with. So she was like, okay, this is who we have. I know we're strong enough with everyone we have to go after him and win. And we did.
Here, let me play devil's advocate with you real quick then.
Okay.
Porkchop talked about how he wanted to try to rule at the Raven Queen.
Yes.
How do we know none of those gods? Somebody, he got the same idea that he had. And he's like, nope, I'm done with your shit. You're stuck here.
In which case they were sealed away for a reason.
Well, that's the whole thing. If you're talking about like Barovia itself,
because
yeah,
you talking like Barovia itself?
Like the gods that were trapped at the Ember Temple.
yes.
What about if somebody was just an asshole like me and was like, I'm sick of this shit, I'm gonna throw them away?
Just because I don't like.
Maybe they weren't all bad, is what Timber's trying to say.
Yeah.
Right. The thing is, that's what the wizards didn't know. They knew about these dark entities that were around, that were within this temple. One being Vampire, and they just, to me, according to the morals that were written or carved in, were easily enough they wanted to trap because they didn't understand them. So they took the lesser evil and just sealed them away, whether that be good or bad.
That's what I was trying to get at. Because if we knew the difference between, oh hey, this one got trapped here because.
I mean, but their names were lost in time. You didn't really know.
Yeah.
I know.
Like,
I'm just saying if we did have that information.
See, Especially with dealing with gods, it's usually better to be safe than sorry. So what if you let one out that's particularly smooth talking?
Okay. But
that's a
that's a different thing.
yes.
All right. What? No. Okay. Noella going into Igor. Between those two things, I know we all know Noella met her end, but I mean,
You chose that.
No, I did
No,
not.
he didn't.
No, he didn't.
I did not at all.
No.
I was about to do stuff to fix it whenever
No, it
killed
wasn't
her.
Strahd.
young.
No, it was
There's the lich.
Yeah.
Yep. That was at the end. Right
No,
when you guys
I'm
were going.
actually very upset to know it. Like, I would
Okay, well, like,
rather
again,
do
More
this
initially,
than
It's your spotlight there, Torchop. Throughout the events that's happened from the temple going into the castle, destroying Strahd. Anything you would have done differently? I mean, you didn't have to stay behind when you guys were taking the book.
But she did though.
Right,
Yeah.
you guys could have just turned coward and run. I mean,
In all fairness, at that point in time, she did have to stay. Like, it wasn't she was forced to stay. She had to stay.
because the bond between you and Simonak got a
Yes.
little stronger.
Yes.
Okay.
Because Simonak meant the fucking world to her. Like, everything. And she wasn't gonna let him go down. She was not gonna let him die. And no matter what it took, she was getting him out of there. She was getting him and her out of there. Of course, she cared about the rest of the party, but at that point in time, she was laying her life down literally, for Simonak and Nevera. Because that was her world.
And
That was
anything else
absolutely
in
everything.
between all that stuff, would you die? I mean, this will go back to you, so keep that in mind going into it. But there was a choice. Same with you. There was a choice later down the line that wavered Yerrick into two different things. That was Igor bringing him back into the fray of the religion of the Norse and Viking ways, being that soothsayer doing all those rune readings. If the Varus would have sided him, that would have changed Yerrick overall. But from that point, yes, she would have. She made that choice of staying to protect her family, even though they really didn't know or care about her. But you still did it. Anything else in there that you would have changed? Or would have tried to attempt to change?
With Noella? Or with Igor?
Either or. Because you went in between two different characters.
Yeah. The only thing that Noella really died wishing is that she could actually have showed Simonak and Nevera how much they meant to her.
Okay.
Every time she tried, she would get shut out. Every fucking time.
Yes.
Noella was, honestly, she was kind of, whenever it comes to cooking on the stove, she was on the very back of the fucking burners. Constantly. And that was the only thing that I wish that Noella could have portrayed better. I wish that she could have portrayed her emotions better, because now seeing Simonak, if Noella could see Simonak the way he is now, she would feel like complete shit, because he's clammed up real bad. He doesn't talk hardly ever, like he's just, and I guess you could say, feels as if Noella's death is really affecting Simonak a lot, but it's just, he's super fucking hard to read, and he always was.
Okay.
With the Uric aspect of it, okay, I did not mean to say Uric, with the Igor aspect of everything, I don't think he would change much. I really don't. I mean, as you've seen last game, Igor was trying to
Tapped into a different path.
He was a different guy. He was, he's not the big brooding badass at this point in time. He actually showed his sensitive side to people, And he would he looked at the Pharaoh and was like, shut the fuck up, don't tell anybody, because Igor's lost people. He's lost his family.
And then look at him now with all that set in stone and everything happened that opened up the path of the giants.
Yeah.
Which is not so much the aspect of the giants, but it gave you more of the ability of the Norse.
Yeah.
And slowly turning into what would be in his mind Thor.
Yeah. And with the whole pushing Yurik over to back to that side, Igor feels kinda bad for it, but not completely, because
Why does he feel bad about it?
because
Well,
he feels as if that he was taking Yurik from you, so he feels a little
sensitive on that.
Yeah, he feels like Igor has the
Well, you
kill
understood
everything,
the fact that
you
you were talking about the tribe and getting back into the tribe and starting that could have been and the alliance and forgiving Derek of all the stuff that happened.
all the shit that you did to me.
Yeah, that happened within your thing.
Yeah.
Now I understand that, and knowing that Derek was making a family for himself. This is why this happened. That's why you chose that path and you became strong.
Yeah.
Now, going over and switching that, come back to you in a second, but with that, how does that change you? Would that have changed you knowing that you had between two people that one was an enemy that now became like a brother to you, one a wife, the mother of a child taken from you. I mean, that had to put a lot on Garrett's mom.
It did.
So, between all those events, would you have swayed one side or the other? Not knowing that they were kind of pulling you in two different ways? I mean, were you noticing that? Would you have changed anything that happened within that span?
I think the night that Eric did the rune reading was what set the precedence for him. That if it had not happened, it would have gone either way. But he walks the path. You know what I mean? He's more in tune with the spiritual, the death, but he also walks life.
So you wouldn't have maybe wavered either way?
Actually,
You would still walked in between?
I think the rune reading, like I said, that was the precedence, but if it had not happened, it would have dipped more towards death.
Okay.
You don't have perspective? No, because of what he said.
It was
Real quick.
You get a little, because they'll go to you after this. That's when then we can engage them, but then we can ride once it's finished. Anything else in that span that you might have would have maybe tried differently? I mean, the whole bond, you guys literally fought because of the anger that was built up between Outcast and now you, Yerrick kind of not following, pissing off Igor about not following Norse ways until he literally almost twisted your arm but pushed you into those readings. Anything else in there that, Yerrick would have maybe changed within that span? Between the kids, you becoming this foster father? I mean, did you change anything? I mean, you should have. So the last two episodes, you literally, Yerrick was wearing his heart on his sleeve.
So
That's another reason why Igor did it too.
So as a player, I know that she is still pregnant. Yerrick doesn't know that.
Right.
I thought
You do now.
he did.
Yeah, he does now, but before that, if they succeed, He's not going home. He's staying.
Right. But would that have changed
If you would have knew that she was pregnant, would you have leaned towards her side and not mine?
That was what I was thinking too.
like if she didn't tell you? She kept it hidden until after everything was done. Would you still have fostered those orphan kids?
Yeah.
What about
Zero would have said, fuck them kids.
you all go to sanctuary? Okay, even with that, what about the turn of events? This would be like the last big question for you.
What? You are beat the shit out of all this, but
Not as Jarek as the character, but as you. As you the player. What were your thoughts when Zero came back?
Tell you what my thoughts
I was
were.
surprised by how you worked it in there. Like, legitimately surprised by that. But at the same time, we have seen this fucking feline expend all 9 lives. I feel like creating Zeor, I created a character who's just destined to fucking die.
Hey,
Even with you playing him, he dropped how many times?
could you imagine if Noella was still alive whenever Zero came back? She would have looked at him like, oh shit, it's my fault that motherfucker's dead. Oh shit, he's gonna eat me.
Probably.
He's gonna eat me! He's gonna take him a big ball of yarn and roll me down a fucking cliffside.
I mean, that probably would have thing if Noella was still around and never died. I mean, that
Would there be a grudge?
there might have been a grudge, but I mean, then again, you would have no control over that character. But like seeing him back now, still in the fray, even though he's dropped and he's still there. Like, what are your thoughts?
I think he's gonna die, like, legitimately fucking
Again?
again.
How many lives would he have? They still remain to be seen. But again, going off to that, is there anything else you would have changed within all that's happened between the castle, Strahd's fight? I mean, is there anything different Garrett would have, like you playing Garrett? Would you change anything or try to? Should you?
I don't think I really should have. As a player, though, I think we should have definitely fucking explored the castle more.
Okay.
I second that.
I feel like there is something that we missed as players that would have made that fight go a whole lot smoother.
Well, there's a couple of things.
There's definitely one, the heart tower. Would have definitely did it. His heart was sanctioned in the tower. That would have dropped off 200 hit points. Yeah. No, 100. Sorry, would have dropped 100 off. So we only would have 200 instead of 300. That tower is guarded by one of the brides to begin with. So you could have did a 2-for-1 deal. Would have made that fight a lot more easier.
Yeah.
Already extinguishing a bride. You guys would have pursued 2 other brides with the Mega Sting. You guys could eliminate all 3 brides before going into Strahd's fight and only had Abbott. And
But in all fairness, all three brides ended up running from us every time we got close to them.
they were baiting.
There's nothing we
I
can do.
was-
We can't hook
I
her
was
fucking
baiting
leg
you to
with
come there
shackles and
because-
like, stay with me.
Volante had traps laid for you guys to where you would have fell into that pit to where you originally saw the Megas dead. They're not the Megas. Was it the Megas or Rick Tabo?
Rick Tabo.
Okay.
Did you hear me?
Rick Tabo's body. You guys would have entered those cells there. And in one of those cells is a new return vampire. So they would attack anybody who landed in that cell. Now, continuing this trilogy of events, we had Pork Chop with Yerrick here, better. I mean, anything in this point in time, up past the end of the temple to the fight with Strahd, anything she would have done different? or you would have done
On multiple occasions?
Yeah.
Not really. Not from those sequences, no.
it? Would you have changed? Would you have not told him? Would you kept it under wraps going into the thing? Would you have told? Would you never told him until after all this was done?
Oh no, I figured that would bolster enough of a fight more so to fight forward.
Why not
Before we fought Strong.
Why not changing it? Why not like talking to him like when Igor was nudging the rooms? How come you didn't nudge back and be more?
Well, she was okay with the room reading. I don't think we're gonna see what's gonna happen. I shouldn't see that as a hey, read those runes and you're gonna want to be on my side now. She's just like, okay, everybody's seeing what's going on.
Honestly, what happened is there would have been two. There was a class switch either way. Whether it be going with Igor, you becoming the Storm Herald. If not, you would have went more the Blood Hunter aspect. Would change.
But see, the
Or
room reading was after
not the Blood Hunter. You would have Blood Hunter Paladin. You would have went.
Yeah, but that's after.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't
shit.
changing. The room
You
reading
would
was
have dumped
after
it to a paladin.
she
No.
found out.
Oh, well, we get more OP.
So it wouldn't have come
So
out.
a paladin and Blood Hunter would definitely make you like the Demon Hunter
But see, the thing is, when
aspect. That's where you would have run into.
we woke up, that
Or
was
Warlock.
after the room reading. That's
Right, but like before that, like if you like how Igor was nudging him to do these reading after reading after readings. I mean, each reading was exhausting here because of the supernatural toll. He literally had to give blood sacrifice to there, or he could have gave a sacrifice when he chose his blood. Blood hunter just comes naturally. That could have changed him into this, you know, divine warrior, divine warrior.
That's why she also gives the
I
purple
did a
too.
little laugh out of what I said there.
But if say the rune reading and the coercion of choice, all that was after she found out, she didn't know. Or she would have told. She's not like, oh, we're just reading the room. She couldn't see unless I did the medicine check, which we didn't. I didn't know it was wearing out that much. So again, I wouldn't have been able to make that choice.
See, Igor
But-
honestly didn't know that either. Like, he didn't know that it was wearing him out, but he knew that, like, you know, it's something, whatever the seers do it, he knew that it was, like, something that
Gonna take a toll.
makes them,
But
like,
you
takes a
knew
toll.
that.
But he didn't
Kinda.
quite, he didn't quite
She
completely
didn't
know
know.
that it was carrying your.
She's seen tarot readings and things like that. They were just looking things up. There's your fortune. Here's what's gonna happen.
I mean,
But-
you guys saw two different readings. You guys saw the Tarot deck reading with the tarot cards versus, you know, the rune readings that he did. That, you know, even with that, Zewar kind of took to give Sibimak his, you know, choice. I mean, how does that feel for the bearer too? That seeing that two people, you know, a husband, father, and your child, to Sibimak, your actual dad, both waving from the radio.
To be honest, once this is done, she has her last thing because it's not just for the Raven Queen. It's kind of like an oath she's made to those who have passed, and she made the town. Her last thing she wants to do is help get the souls out that have been marching after that. She's no longer, she's following a different path of what ifs, as we're doing here, but she is following a different path of what ifs because the Raven Queen said, we're following your own path. Raven Queen had children that are followers, her kingdom, before she became the Raven Queen. With Nevera following a different path as this embodiment of this human-like aspect of the Raven Queen, she actually is having a child, not followers, an actual physical born to be a child. She has a husband. After she helps bury the souls, she's done. The Raven Queen said, no harm, no foul. She would probably follow a different deity, whether it be the Fate Weaver, the Dawn Father, or the Wild Mother.
But like, so kind of like bouncing around the answer though, but like having that choice that Raven Queen gave you of being your own person or following her, you chose to more be her follower more. But then like did not put a toll on her when seeing two other Reapers both give up on her? That didn't like strike you? That didn't like tug a chord to where like, what the hell?
It wasn't more so a tugging of the cord because, again, as most people know, everyone has a choice, and knowing, physically seeing it, whether it's from Havila or now Nevera, seeing what they're put through, yes, she finds it very messed up, and she does believe every god has what they do and don't do, what their aspects are, so. And
but you didn't know all these other gods.
No, she knows that.
Other than the dark things and then the Dawnfather, and that was the only two that you guys knew, minus the
that
Norse.
gods most likely all have their own respective order and what they do to understand that much at least. And then, yeah, she got to hear Zior talking about the Wild Mother. She is no longer going to follow the Raven Queen when this is done. She made an oath to see that these souls are free, and that will be it. She will show that there's a different path as this human embodiment of this Raven Queen that is going to have life. She may follow the Wild Mother. She might follow, like I said.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you already made your choice to follow her. But with everything that happened,
yeah.
Kid being taken away, knowing that
it
was all you, why didn't she wait?
Because she's waiting to fulfill the thing she said she was going to do. So if she's following the Raven Queen right now, and she completes all of this shit, she can be the one that ushers the things.
I know, but with everything that happened, the memories taking,
it has put
its toll on her. Like, how come she didn't snap yet and just shunned her?
It goes off, like I said, she's still.
I mean, you could have went to Korm, the Thunder God.
Yeah. But like I said, it's that whole new aspect on everything. Everything is, as she gets to see more and more, other than the fragments of memory she has from Havila Knoll, everything in life is slightly new to her, but at the same time not. If that makes sense. So while she's walking a path and understanding things as they go, she understands that, yes, a soul is for a soul should end up. And yes, she can't undo that, and she understands that there's a cause and effect to everything, and yes, that did mess with her. But with learning more and more from this Raven Queen that did give her this life to begin with, that she's thankful for, if it wasn't for her.
So you're just more like honor-bound kind of life-death thing, I need to
in
serve
a way,
her till the end.
Yes and no, and that's what I'm getting at. In the very end, she's like, okay, well, I have my own path. And it's starting to get
you could
her.
have changed it.
Well, after she said that, you have your own path. I'm not your pawn. She's like, well, you are walking your own path. You're showing me different things I could or have done. So it's slowly seeping into her. It doesn't just hit her like that. It's slowly coming into her mind, her being of what she can do. It's not just right then and there. She's slowly taking it in. She's slowly fathoming it. And she's like, I can't.
Would there have been a turning point if she would have done another more outrageous thing, taken
Oh, yeah.
everything? Would you have switched?
Yes.
Who would you have picked? Out of all the ones that were mentioned, Dawnfather, this new one that, Sibonite, and Zior followed the balance. Would you have went there? Would you have went to the Dawnfather? Would you follow any one of the Norse gods? What would you have?
I was literally sitting there say it for you.
She probably would have tried to search out other gods, but she probably wouldn't have followed one right off the bat, especially after that.
Well, the only ones that were linked. If you had an option, if you would have shunned her, if she would have done another really outrageous, messed up thing, out of the
Like
gods
she did
that
was
were
fucking
If she
there.
had to right then and there
It's so much
choose
more.
jumping from one god to the other like that and had no other choice
No,
but to jump.
not like that. If she would have pushed you to the edge to where you shunned her, and you were gonna maybe pick up another god, would you have?
No.
What one would, and if you were to say yes and shunned her and pick a different deity, who?
Probably would have fallen asleep with her.
Yes!
But
Sorry.
it wouldn't have happened.
I was hoping
Because
you'd
like I
say that.
said, she wouldn't have just jumped from one sack to the other and been like, hey, I'm with this god, now I'm with this god. She would have been like,
No.
She's not a holy hopper, Frank.
But no, but like again, like
God.
that's not what I meant though.
no,
but
I
like
know.
you know, I'm thinking like that could change the wizard aspect to warlock, sorcerer, something of that nature. I'll bet that's why I was trying to get like
No, I know.
what was going there. But out of all that other things, you wouldn't like kind of waver or change it. That's happened up to this point now.
So you said she did with our gods, Frank. I'm stopped.
Right, I know. But no, there's nothing else in that fray that Navera would have done, that would have done differently, should have done differently, could have done.
No, because she's after this no longer following the Raven Queen, like I said.
Well, just in general, not just the Raven Queen, just in general between these two timelines.
No, she probably would have tried, if anyone knew, like she probably would have dealt and tried to find if there are other gods. She did see the realm of it.
Get the god aspect out of it. From the end of the Emperor Temple to the fight with Straw, any time in between, would Navera herself change anything of what transpired in this time?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's what I'm getting.
Definitely.
Not,
She would have been dead. Do you know what I'm talking about, Pork Chop?
No.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
You pushed her, remember?
You were going to make the deal with Puck.
Yes.
Oh no,
Chamberlain.
not that.
What would have?
She would have been lost to Puck, definitely. No, Navera would have died and Noella wouldn't have. Because she was trying to keep the portal open.
That's before the Ember Temple. We're talking about from the Ember Temple to the castle.
I thought you were talking about in general.
That is
Well,
the Ember
in
Temple.
general.
Yeah.
That is the Ember Temple.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, that's
That was
that's
the-
in
that
the
was
Emperor
the Ember
Temple.
Temple.
When he offered the blood, no, that was
No,
at the
No.
I said
No.
she
Whatever,
didn't die.
whatever Noella died.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you
finger of
changed
death.
that,
Yes,
okay.
Navera would have been dead.
Because, like, one of the very last things Noella did was, like, yeet, bitch.
Yeah, she tossed me and
You
Yarrick
could easily
was
change that.
carrying her like a sack of potatoes and she's punching his back and yelling at him to put her down. She her original thing before all of that had happened, and I planned it in my head as much as I didn't want to do it, but I saw
With-
was loved a little
Okay, if she would have died,
bit. Was, but a little bit.
what would have been the next character? Would have been
oh
the one that's going to change once this happens? What else would you have like remember the books for? Like the plot?
no. I had a really messed up character. You know how there's always as Aaron delightfully put Capri Suns around the castle or anything? Yeah. There would have been a childlike character who was actually just a turned vampire, a child turned vampire, that was not wanting to follow Strahd, but was stuck there and was.
But what like
She would have been a damn fear child.
I get that. What class would you have gone with? Right?
That's my bread and butter, man. I can just imagine
Somehow
a
I knew
vampire
you were
child
gonna do
that's a rogue just sneaking around following the party the whole way.
Stealing left shoes because why not? Stealing all those
But-
doorknobs because fuck them.
The outcome of that would have also been a very rage-filled Yerk.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
Probably would have changed a lot. Yeah.
And some
Losing the child from the Raven to begin with, not knowing that look back. I mean, you would have lost two members of the family you were started. So yeah, that would definitely spiral him.
Shit.
That was definitely forced into Igor with, like, not just that, just getting pissed off to where
Noella,
You could've-
Igor would have never been a thing.
well, Noella was around. So yeah, so
That was another reason why
Garrett
Noella did
wouldn't
that.
have wavered from going more north with rune readings at all. I mean, that might have sparked something totally different. I mean,
That was another
That
big
could have
reason.
you know, you could have offered the Raven Queen to follow her to bring back them two, and that would have been Paladin. That would have been like Oath of Conquest or Oath of like Vengeance.
But then the other one that's not here to speak of it, there's two that have been so rage-filled because...
Well,
White,
yes, Cinemac, yes,
so-
would have been very rageful, yes. Now, you know, back, you
Now
know,
he's just depressed because he never let Noella know that he actually cared.
what about Ryo? Like, what would happen after everything? I mean, a lot more has happened with Ryo. You got more in tune with knowing about the Drake Wars, knowing about how they died and stuff like that. But like, what? Knowing again that Sat had one of the crossbows to begin with. I mean, you don't really know how they died, but they died. But
So, the story that I was going off of was like it was literally like that scene from Forrest Gump, like save yourself, get out of here. And instead of me actually dragging my commander out of that area, he pushed me in
Right.
the woods.
But with that time span between those two things, from the temple to the castle, would Ryo have changed? Could he have? Would he have? And should he have?
There's a couple of things out of changed. Like going back to the temple, the fucking cat. Anyway, I probably would have taken one of the gods.
Okay, you probably would have took one of the dark gifts.
All in all, because there's a couple that were tempting. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
True Set 8 and
Yeah.
White
so you
Neighbor.
would have went back and you would have received the dark gift that you didn't issue before.
right.
Okay. What? Anything else?
Try to find a way to destroy that damn golem.
I mean,
For all that money.
Take it back to Barovia. Holy shit! Do we beat kings and queens there?
I mean, I get you on that one. You guys would have been rich
I know.
purveyors of a lot of things, yes. I mean, throughout that time, I mean, he's got pretty messed up on a lot of things. You know, the newfound like kind of kinship or friendship between you and the Forge Master. You know, him died, him being dead in the aftermath of everything. I mean, would there have been any like standpoint that would have changed Ryo in some way, shape, or form? I mean, would you have changed anything?
Going back to what these two said earlier, I feel like there's leading up to that fight at the castle. Well, there's a couple things I feel like we could have done differently. Like one, definitely going through that castle because there's, like we've talked about,
There's so much stuff that could have been more discovered.
right?
Just like a day or so, really.
I know.
Like the like finding Strahd's heart, because that 100 points. Yeah, no, a lot of people 100 points ain't a whole lot, but in a fight like that, 200 versus 300, I'll take the 200.
I'll take the 200, Alex.
Yeah, yeah. R.I.P. But with all the stuff that we could have done differently in that fight, or when we found the portals downstairs. Like, I know it's only for a quick period of time, but that 5 seconds we could have grabbed a couple more people and brought into the fray,
Yeah, you could have.
which could have turned the tides and made that fight a lot quicker, or we could have lost more comrades that way.
Always a big
But it's-
gambit, yes.
I know, that's a flip of the coin playing battle we have to deal with. So that's something I wish we could have done, because I know Strahd and them were valuing that portal. Like there's going back to the castle or back to the Amber Temple, jokes aside with the treasure room and all that, and I wish there was a way we could have found a way to save Noella. Like if we had one more higher level counter spell, or
Yeah. I mean,
one more Like,
Y'all motherfuckers should have said the shit whenever she was alive, man. Man, fuck y'all.
fuck you.
Wait till she dies to fucking actually show you cared about her. Y'all some
Right.
ignorant motherfuckers.
But I mean, there wasn't.
Fuck that bitch.
No
I'm
other
sure
like, there's no
plenty
other
did.
like big significant other than those two things.
Probably still are.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. It's like,
Well, I'm on time.
I know. Oh, like there's probably some else, and I'll probably think of it after we leave here. But like, there's different things like battle strategies. I wish I could have changed and whatnot. But they could have probably helped the fight. Yeah, I have the Drake. Yeah, I have the crossbow.
Not take the goddamn armor.
Ooh,
Ooh, yeah.
I agree with what he said.
that's a big one. On
Oh, wait, hold on. First look at you
Never
right
mind.
now.
Yeah.
But then again, that could have changed too, because I mean, at that same point in time, there was another living armor in the tower that you guys could have took too.
I mean, we
No, we
can
lost that,
armor,
remember?
and
But
him
you
not
lost
really
it, but you
being-
could have had
and
that
him not
one
really being a
on you, and that would not have ducked down Strahd's armor. I mean, there was a twist in the story that I had to where whoever had that armor to begin with, who had Strahd's living armor that was there, the one that was in the tower that you guys would have took or used, he would have took it off of you and donned it on him right in the middle of the fight to show the power link between that armor and him. I mean, easily enough that could have been dispelled because it's a living suit of armor that would magically dawn on you.
Yeah,
You
but
would
like
have
at that
dispelled
point
that
in time.
effect. It would have just
He
been
would've
normal
somebody started.
armor. It would have just been that, and he couldn't have. If you would have dispelled that armor and just had it as a normal,
We just would have made him mad because
a
we're
normal
wearing
suit
his
of armor,
armor.
that would have ducked down his AC a big bunch. But then again, I mean, it wouldn't have mattered because your guys' pluses versus his pluses wouldn't have changed.
Now, real quick, if I would have done the speak with Dead on the body and asked for the armor, for the armor, and for the negotiation, because I could speak
For
with Dead.
straws?
No, his brother.
Saturday.
Sorry, his armor and stuff. If I used speak with Dead, asked for permission.
No. What? Okay, so that thing was, no matter what, if you took anything from his thing, Sergei himself protected his whole tomb. Even from Strahd. Everybody can look at his tomb and know he's there, but they could never, I mean, they could open it up, but they could never take anything. If so, that they would suffer the effects of Brightspear. Which he was such a holy warrior of the Dawnfathers, he would have took off and you were cursed by the vampire sight, never to see the light of day, never, or to be hampered by the lights. That was the biggest thing on it. No matter what you guys would have done, there was no way in hell to take the stuff from him.
Alright, Frank.
What?
Go ahead.
I kind of loopholed it because the Dawnfather kind of stepped in.
Yeah, I kind of just give you guys like the edge because I knew it was going to be a tough fight between Strahd and all of these people against you guys. And
Not that it really mattered anyway.
It went down to the goddamn wire with some of you guys. Some of you guys were on the verge of death. Some of you were dying. I mean, hell, one lost an arm. I mean, a lot of people were on the verge of getting back up,
Died
dying,
like
getting
6
back up. I mean, yes, you guys were playing that game until the very end where justice was finally served out of all the wrongdoing. Sivnak gave the killing blow, and now, you know, we're going into this ritual next week.
I just now thought of it.
What?
Shy, I know you'll pick on this one as well. The kids. We're in temple.
What about it?
If,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
You guys
had-
could have changed that.
Yeah. If we had known something was wrong with one of those kids at that
You
time.
did.
Yeah, but we didn't. We're like, they're just tending to themselves, whatever. Or kids are gonna be
We
kids.
thought it was slowly affecting
I
mine.
mean,
Not
in
that
all
it's gonna be
fairness,
like,
once again, Noella said, we should kill him.
Right.
But
So,
we
just
you've
saying.
been saying that about a lot of things. It was kill it. So we're like, whatever.
But I mean, so like with all of that said, I mean, there's a lot of things that you guys could have done differently, should have done differently, probably would have done differently, as we all hit that topic of shoulda, coulda, woulda. I mean, now we're going into a ritual thing that either way, there are 2 storylines that will pop off of this. If you guys cannot do the ritual, there is a massive storyline that you're going to miss, that you're going to maybe reconvene back and see. If not, then it's going to be more of the... You guys are at that standing point now to where if you don't lock away Vampire...
But we will, so you don't need to talk about it.
Okay, listen, if you guys don't, then you guys receive a bad ending that goes off into
I'd much
the
rather
one
have
that John's going to take over in. And you guys are going to miss a big story or story continuance of it. You guys, when you guys seal them away, since Pork Chop is so adamant that we are going to seal them away,
We're doing it. I
that
don't even know why
you
he
guys will
decides to
receive
tell me
a
that.
really good ending, and then
Everybody loves a happy ending.
But starting off too, what's really going to change is the transverse into there between, you know, with the good side of it, they do it, finding that good, you know, that real good transverse of a, you know, the portal that opens up and sends you guys home, or anything of that nature. Open up way more storylines for you guys going into the other side of Curse of Shadows. I mean, you guys are at the end of this one. End of straws. This is it. You guys beated him. Now it's the take. Now you guys are just doing the extra. You guys don't have to do this. I will give you that option. You don't have to do this. It just, Barovia just doesn't go back to where it belongs. It stays within the Shadowfell. Straw does come back, and the cycle continues. Yes. If you guys
Which would
choose
make
not
everything
to,
that we did worthless.
choose not to, and either use the monolith or Puck to get you guys out of there, Strahd will come back, he'll probably lay waste, and it will restart over. Because that's just the cycle continues, like recycling, rebirthing. That's what's going to happen. New adventurers, new people in the midst of who survived. So you're going to have, there will be a new Abbott, there will be a new Isaac.
You know
Isaac might
that's
be
not
the-
even an option.
I know, but I'm just saying, that is an
not
option.
doing
You
that
guys
shit.
can choose to leave.
We're good guys.
You don't have to do it, but then that's 3 different storylines that can arc off into it. So there's a lot of things that could have happened, would have happened, should have happened.
But for you
Coulda,
guys,
shoulda, woulda.
in the comments below,
Yeah,
ask
definitely.
what we should have, could have, or would have done. If you have any questions at all, ask us and we will deliver.
You know, again, you know, that I'm gonna say that concludes our lovely show of throwing shade. Topic of shoulda, coulda, woulda between the start of the campaign to the end of the Curse of Strahd module, going into the epilogue. So that is crazy things. You guys like you guys were saying. Leave a comment about some things that players didn't mention, that I didn't mention, about what could have, should have, or would have happened, and you can leave that comment. But again, I mean, hit that like button if you guys like us. You know, it definitely helps us out. Subscribe to it, helps us out even better. I mean, as you can see, you know, we're slowly climbing up the ranks. What are we up to now?
110 subscribers.
110 subscribers. I mean, we still have a long way to track, but we are slowly gaining progress for it. That is so nice to you guys. We are talks in the works. Figure out about that meeting you had.
Yep, that was rather interesting. I'll talk to you guys off
But
camera about
there
that.
could be a thing to where we do another one shot with a D20 Misfits. Your characters will be a part of a massive battle royale between the students of California University. You guys can take option into one or DM it as you want.
Well, I'm not smart enough for that shit.
But you guys can play a character into the mix of everything. We'll set it all at one, at a level for everybody to do, to where there's a prize at the end.
I like prizes.
The student that gets the furthest, gets to the finals, fights off, becomes victorious, that person there will be featured in our next episode following.
And just think of all the cool shit we can do for you guys. If we get a bunch of subscribers, We could do giveaways and all kind of stuff. Come on now. Let's
But
the
hit
Tinder
that
fucking
subscribe
matter.
button
Come on.
like Zero does to kids.
Sanctuary! Alright, fucked up!
Oh,
That is so messed up. But yeah. So again, thanks you guys for all the work so far that we've done, you guys, and all the stories we've told up to this point. The story's still continuing, so that's really cool. Our lovely editor found some new stuff, so you guys need to check out New Dawn, the last episode we did.
Whatever that
I
premieres.
mean, after the great visage you gave to Grey White, doing that intro, she has added a couple more things to it. So now,
Oh no, I'm curious.
how
to
it
see.
says the adventure continues, how it has that text up there before we go into like the recap and everything. It talks now. It's really wicked.
Oh
So
no.
you guys need to check out the new stuff that she added into it. It's pretty cool.
But look how sexy it was.
But
Maybe.
yeah.
And if you're behind, go back and watch the episodes you missed.
Catch up, yeah. So the new episode is already up and running. You guys are watching it now as this is happening. We will put this up in a couple days. So again, from us at D20 Misfits.
Good
Good night!
Good night.
It was supposed to be way more dramatic.